Let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh,
I see you, Expose. Gostinum, I see you. Thank you for joining. Good evening. I hope you're good.
inside, bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow, the promise, the future, and life. Let this light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside, inside, yeah. Inside, inside,
Good evening.
bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow, the promise, the future, and life. Let this light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding.
I see you, Shine. Good evening. I hope you are good. Debsy, I see you. Good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday.
Inside,
I hope we are good. Tomorrow is Friday, yay.
make you feel alright.
I see you, Drucy. I hope it's Drucy or Drossy. Thank you so much for joining. Good evening. Shine, please help share this live to your friends. Let them be part of this talk today. It's a very deep talk, very crucial talk. And I'm sure we will learn from one another today.
Let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love.
Welcome in, Millie. I see you. Good evening.
Inside, yeah. Inside, inside, bringing hope and make you
Yes.
feel alright.
How has the week been? Has it been good? It's been very hot. Very hot here in the UK. I think we entered 30 degrees plus today. It's been so hot.
Let the light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside,
I hope we are good.
inside.
Igrita, I think. Igrita, how are you? Good evening. Welcome to Insight. I hope your day has been good so far, so good. Please, Igrita, if you can hear me clearly, please, I need a thumbs up. Thank you. If there's, let me see a thumbs up. I know you just joined in, but if you can hear me clearly, let's see a thumbs up. Or anyone there, please. Oba Akpa, I see you. I hope I pronounced that correctly as well. Good evening, good evening. You're welcome to Insight with FunmiRoyal today. The day the Lord has made. Indeed, I'm gonna rejoice and be glad in it. Thank God, thank God. Another day to say thank you, Lord. Okay. Yes, on Insight every Thursday we talk about marriage relationship talks. So If you have a friend who's married, if you're married, this is the place to be. And if you know, have one or two who have just put a ring on it, don't say, oh, because they're not married yet, oh, they're married. Tell them to come here live. Let them come and listen to the words of wisdom from those who have gone way, way ahead of them. I'm going to be inviting us later on after my talk. We're going to be expanding this talk, sharing our views, our perspective about it, because it's a very crucial topic. I was just on a hangout not too long ago, and it's still the same marriage talks, questions. My goodness, it's like the marriage institution is under attack for whatever reason, and we cannot keep silence anymore. We have to talk about things. It's hard, it's somewhat uncomfortable, but who is going to talk about these things if we don't? So I see you. Thank you so much for joining. As you can see, the topic today is taboos in marriage. Yeah, taboos in marriage. And I always like to bring perspective to this talk so that we have a clear understanding of which angle we're going to be focusing on today. It's a very broad topic, but however, I'm going to limit it to, to specifics so that we don't broaden it too much and then we'll lose the essence of the talk. Taboos in marriage. Where did they come from? Who created them? It's going to be interesting as well as deep. So please click down on your screen for about 3 seconds. Some names will pop up. Just click send to all of your friends, all your followers. Let them be here tonight. It's very crucial. It's always crucial here. We talk about things that, couples shy away from talking about. And guess what? It's affecting them in their relationship. So I dare us on Insight. Let us talk about these things. And like I always say, God's intention for marriage is that we enjoy our marriage relationship. But sometimes it's like, what's happening? Is this what God has planned for us? No. We have to self-reflect. That's what I always say here as well. We need to self-reflect as a wife. We need to self-reflect as a husband. We need to self-reflect. We're not enjoying that marriage. Let's think about it. Perhaps we're not doing what we're meant to do. And that's why we're not enjoying that marriage. So it's on us to reflect, think about certain things. And I always say again that sometimes we may have to unlearn certain things, relearn them, or learn them all over again. That is the positive ones, because sometimes you find out that you don't have good role models in terms of marriage relationship whilst growing up. Yeah, you grew up in a home, maybe dad wasn't there or mom was there or wasn't there, all those family dynamics, and you just find out one day you're an adult and you want to look back to a marriage experience, especially from your parents, and you can't really find one. Or perhaps you can find one, oh, it was a loving home growing up. Mommy loves daddy, daddy loves mommy. They were, united. Thank you for the heart me. And all of that. But yet you're in a marriage and you're having issues. Guess what? Your spouse or your partner didn't grow up in your household. So they've come with their own experience. They've come with their own backgrounds. They've come with their own traumas, their baggages and all that. Of course, it might clash with yours. So don't think, oh, but I came from a good home. Why am I not enjoying my marriage? I wish it worked like that. Hello to you, Tisa for Autism. I see you. Thank you so much for joining. I hope your week has been good. Please have shared this live to your friends. Let them be part of this talk, because I always want to learn from us. I don't have all the answers, like I say, but I try my best, to bring the best that I can. And of course, looking forward to hearing from you as well. So all this preambling really is just so that, we have enough people and then we start off. It's okay. I can see one or two of my regulars. Thank you so much for joining in again today. And hopefully we're not going to stay too long, but fingers crossed. Because most times when I say that, like I've jinxed it, and now we're saying 4 or 5 hours. But we'll see how far we go as the Spirit will lead us, so to say. So I'm going to go into this talk so that we are focused. Because like I say, it's a broad topic. But I need us to be focused so that we can get the essence of the talk or this discussion today. So I will give my talk, and please note and reflect whatever is coming to mind. Whatever you think, oh, I should have said this, or you were hoping I'll say this, there you go. That's when you have to come in and share with us, your thoughts and your reflections as well, so that we can learn from one another. Dupe Alimi, I see you. Thank you for joining. Please have shared this live to your friends. Let them be part of this talk. And as we come in, please let's keep tapping. TikTok says if you keep tapping on a live, it will attract other people as well. And we want people to hear this kind of talk as much as possible. Perhaps the marriage institution can be saved again. Who knows? God helping us. So I'm going to go into this topic, taboos in marriage. And what do I mean by that? Don't worry, guys. I'm going to break it down so that we have a better understanding of my angle tonight. So if you want to give it a top topic, I'll say breaking the silence for stronger relationships. Breaking the silence for stronger relationship. Taboos in marriage. Okay, so please keep inviting and keep tapping so that others will be attracted to this live. Marriage is one that is often seen as a sacred union, a partnership was meant to be built on love, trust, and commitment. But within this union, there are often unspoken, quote and unquote, rules, uncomfortable truths, and sensitive topics that go undiscussed. Hence, we dare ourselves to talk about it here on Insight. So these are what we call taboos in a nutshell. Things that are considered off limits to talk about. Exactly. So let's talk about it here on Insight, even though they deeply affect a marriage. So why are we shying away from talking about it? When there's a problem, there's an issue, we're meant to find solutions, ways out, so that, whatever challenge or problem it is can go away, and then we can enjoy life, so to say. God helping us. So today we're going to explore that concept of taboos, quote and unquote, in marriage, what they are, why they exist, and why breaking the silence around them can actually strengthen that marriage relationship. If you don't break the silence, you're going to break that marriage. So let us be bold. If you need to pray about it, pray for boldness so that taboos will no longer be in our marriages. God helping us. So let's break it down some more. What are taboos in marriage? What do I mean by this? So a taboo is a subject that people avoid because it is seen as shameful, uncomfortable, or inappropriate to talk about. I say that again. A taboo is a subject that people avoid because it is seen as shameful, uncomfortable, or inappropriate to talk about. So in marriage, these topics vary from culture to religion to upbringing, personal beliefs, and so many other factors. Mila for Christ, I see you. Good evening. Please help share this live to all your friends. Let them be part of our talk today. So I have to sip water from time because it's so hot. My mouth is just so dry. The weather is hot. God will help us. So let's look at some common marital taboos. It depends on the culture you're from. Some you may be familiar with. Some you may have heard before from other people, friends, or people you know, and things like that. Or it might just be, that, oh, it's like I've heard this, I've seen this, or whatever. So it varies. There's so many of them, but I'm just going to mention a few bits so that at least we have an understanding of what I'm trying to say. So some common marital taboos include talking about sexual expectations or dissatisfactions. No. Discussing money problems or financial control. Some see it as a taboo. Expressing emotional or mental health struggles. It's like a no. In this culture, you have to be strong. You suck it up. You don't show your vulnerability. This and that is seen as a taboo when you talk about emotional or mental health struggles. They don't want to hear it. Another is addressing infidelity or attraction outside the marriage. I mean, imagine just come home one day. Guess what? Hey, there's this person in my workplace, or or there's this person in my college, I'm beginning to get attracted. Can you say that to your spouse? Hey, it's a no, it's a taboo. But we're going to break all of this down. It sounds funny, but I mean, this is a taboo, like addressing infidelity. No, the deed has been done. Psh, mom's the word. No. Again, another taboo is speaking openly about past relationships. Some feel is a taboo, is a no-go area. Don't talk about it, this and that. But really, is it or should it be? Again, setting boundaries with in-laws or extended family. My family is my people for life, so therefore no boundaries. They can come into my house and go as they want, in fact unannounced and things like that. But if you now say you want to set boundaries, please let us know when you're coming to visit, or let's just even give us a heads up. Is a taboo. They just come in and go as they please. Well, if you let them. Again, the last one I'm going to mention, like I said, there's so many of them, but I'm just going to mention this few so that we have a better understanding. The last one I'm going to mention is admitting to feelings of regret or unhappiness in a marriage. It's a taboo. Everybody's marriage should be, all that perfect. So if you now come and say your marriage is not perfect, it is a taboo. Do you not say that? So these taboos don't go away just because they are avoided. In fact, they often grow stronger in silence. So dare we talk about it here on Insight today. Why? So that we can enjoy our marriages in liberty, in freedom, and not put these taboos, because it's man-made as far as I'm concerned. So if there's issues, talk about it. If there are challenges, address it. Don't just say, oh, it's a taboo, you don't talk about it, and then you're suffering in silence. Why? We need to challenge, culture if we have to. We need to challenge the society if we have to, just so that we can enjoy that marriage as God intended for us to do. So why do marital taboos exist? Because when I was preparing this, I'm like, we have to really dig deep, but at the same time be focused. So I'm asking us, as you're there listening to me right now, you can just type in there. I can pick one or two from you. Why do you think marital taboos exist? Why do you think so? I'll tell us few reasons. I'll tell us about 5 of them, and you can guess the rest for yourself. But these things are there, like I said, and it's affecting marriages, it's affecting husbands, it's affecting wives, it's affecting children, it's affecting the family as a whole. So why do marital taboos exist? 1, because of cultural conditioning. Most societies teach that certain topics, especially related to sex, money, or mental health, should be kept private. No, shush, you don't talk about it. No, you don't. But why not? Especially when there are issues. Because otherwise, you keep quiet, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then, bam, it explodes. Meaning that marriage can actually explode if these things are not addressed. Why should talking about sex, money, or mental health be a taboo? Why should it be? Again, another, reason why we have marital taboo, or why they exist, is because of fear of conflict. Spouses may avoid taboo subjects because they fear arguments. I don't like arguments. Or they fear rejection. Or they fear being judged. For example, you come and admit to your spouse that you don't know how to be prudent, you just spend and all of that, and you don't want them to look at you in a certain way, so you keep quiet. It's a taboo, don't talk about it. You don't want your husband or wife to look at you in certain ways, so don't let them know. Well, with time they will find out anyways. Or some may fear, I don't want to argue, I don't want to feel rejected if I open up to say this or to say that, But why should that be? 2 has become 1. We have to share experiences. Our experiences in life up until the time we met or we meet is not going to be the same. Even if you live in the same community, certain things will just be different, and you have to talk about your experience in order for you to have an understanding. Another reason is pride and ego. Sometimes people will rather protect their image than admit they're struggling or they're vulnerable. So, suffer in silence. Is suffering and smiling, as they say. There's a song like that, from Africa. Pride and ego, it is like a taboo. You don't talk about certain things, certain struggles, especially for a man to come and say they are vulnerable. Why? How? Man, it's own it, suck it up, and all, talks like that. No. So a man dare not come and talk about his vulnerabilities. A man dare not come and admit about his struggles. It's like a taboo. A man, no, you must sin as being strong all the time. But why? They're human beings. They've got feelings. They've got emotions. Why are you suppressing those emotional feelings? Why are you suppressing your vulnerability? Just because you don't want to be seen as weak, or you don't want to be seen as not manly. Please don't suffer in silence. Another one is religious or traditional beliefs. Some topics are viewed as sinful. If you talk about this, they will look at you as an unbeliever. Some are seen as disrespectful to discuss openly. So I bet some people may have passed here and hear one or two, but I feel, for me, this is disrespectful. We don't come out in the open to talk about these things. Why not? The more reason, because you can't talk about it in the private. So let's bring it out to the open. At least that way everybody will learn. Everybody will try to adjust so that they can enjoy their marriage life. So religious and traditional beliefs is also part of this taboo thing we talk about. You can't talk about certain things. It's sinful. Oh. You have to go and pray for cleansing. You don't talk about this. But why? You're living this life. Why are you shying away from talking about issues affecting you in that marriage life? So please, let's not be in denial. Even if things are rosy now, think back. There has been times when things were difficult and you even thought it was going to be the end of your marriage. How did you overcome that? By keeping quiet. Did you not have to address things? Did you not have to put action in place so that things would change? So let's not deny ourselves that freedom, to open up, freedom to being vulnerable, freedom to admit our struggles and things like that. It's not written on the forehead, guys, but we need help. If you need help, seek help. Don't see anything like that as a weakness. Again, the last one I'll mention, number 5, is lack of communication skills. And this one really, maybe upbringing has a part to play in it. Some couples simply don't know how to approach sensitive conversation. It triggers them off, or they get angry. They don't want to talk about it. It's like it's too sensitive. In fact, they get upset. They get in this space. Even the spouse will either walk away or just be quiet. So lack of communication skills, because they have not really sat where they talk deep talks. So they're not comfortable when you have to talk deep to that spouse, especially about your vulnerabilities. They'll be like, they're just uncomfortable and they can't sit in there. And then, the suffering kind of continues. But let us dare ourselves and talk about these things so that we can address them adequately and then enjoy our marriage relationship. God will help us, really. So I want us to look at the danger of ignoring taboos. The danger of ignoring taboos. So avoiding uncomfortable topics doesn't make the problem disappear. Avoiding uncomfortable topics, taboos, doesn't make problems disappear. In fact, it can lead to resentment. It can lead to resentment, suppressed feelings often turn into bitterness. And before you know, it starts birthing other negative feelings, negative thoughts, negative ideations, and all of that. And before you know, it's like you're a different person altogether. Thank you, A13, I see you. Thank you for autism. Thank you so much. It's amazing, if things are not dealt with appropriately, that bitterness will come in. And imagine the love that was once there being eroded by bitterness. So please do not avoid talking about this, because there's danger in it. Another danger, ignoring those taboos, is emotional distance. So avoiding hard conversations like we are doing right now here. Avoiding hard conversations can lead to lack of intimacy. Josephine, I see you. Good evening. I hope you are good. Happy Thursday to you. Please help share this live and tap 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 so that others can come in, because they'll be wondering, this people tapping somewhere, let's go see what's happening. Yeah, let them come to insight. And thank you so much for tapping so far. At least I see other people joining. So it can create emotional distance when you avoid these taboos. Hard conversations will have to be talked about. Easy conversations, you have to talk about it. Uncomfortable one, you have to talk about it, because that is the only way you can come to a resolution. Otherwise, you're just going to be, suffering in that relationship. And remember, marriage is meant to be for life. If we have understanding, if we have tolerance, trust, and all of those things that it requires, sacrifice, borrow me this English, understanding, all of those things, if it's there, of course we're going to enjoy that marriage. But you and I know that most times we're challenged in certain areas. It could be that we don't have enough understanding for our spouses, or we don't trust them anymore because it's been broken, due to so many reasons. And this can bring emotional distance when you don't talk about that. It will break that intimacy between both of you. Again, misunderstandings is another taboo. It's another danger, really. Please, you can tap in there. Let's hear your views about this as I give the talk. So, misunderstandings are another danger. Without open communication, assumptions will take over. You just assume this is why this person is doing this. Assume. And most times assumptions are negative, and it doesn't promote unity. It doesn't promote love. So instead of sitting down and assuming certain things, open your mouth and speak to your spouse. They may not like what you're saying. They may not want to hear it. But once you say it out, they cannot unhear you, so to say. They might not want to talk about it. It might be 2-3 days later, they've gone and thought about what you said without you being there anyways. And they, reason, and they're being objective and subjective and all of those things. And they're like, wow, this thing my spouse mentioned, it came from somewhere. I can't just ignore it. Even though you told them, no, this is arrant nonsense or whatever, you raked and shouted when they were trying to, talk about whatever. But, we're sensible people, I want to believe so. We will have to sit down and think about these things. Why did my spouse say this? And be reasonable. Be reasonable, because who knows, maybe it's tomorrow you might have something to say to your spouse as well. So without open communication, assumptions will take over, and it's never a good ending. So trust me, talk about things. Don't let assumption fester and become bigger. Something that is as small as a sand now turns to a mountain because of assumption. So avoid the danger of misunderstanding. Another danger is infidelity or escape. One or both partners may seek emotional or physical fulfillment elsewhere because it's a taboo. You dare not talk to your spouse about certain things going on with you, or certain things you've observed or whatever. Rather, you seek that space with somebody else. Say for example, infidelity has happened and you really want to talk. It could even be years later, you want to talk about these things with your spouse, and they're like, taboo. You don't mention that here. Hey, it's in the past. So they'll just use certain words, it's in the past. And perhaps there's something burning on the inside of you really want to address. Mom's the word. You dare not talk about it. So it is not a way to address that, because otherwise there's danger in that. So one or both partners, like I said, may seek emotional or physical fulfillment outside. And that when things like that happen, what are we talking about again? Infidelity. So that's why partners go outside their matrimonial bed, just because they feel they can't open or express how they truly feel in that marriage to their partners. But that is an assumption, because you can't say something failed, something you have never tried before, and you're not saying it's failed. How do you know it's failed? Have you tried it to know that it has failed? Oh, but my friend said when they tried to talk about this with their spouse, they failed. So therefore you assumed that if you want to talk about it with your own spouse, it is going to fail. So you now seek a third party, and then Anyway, let me not go too deep, but I guess we all understand what I'm trying to say. Whatever you cannot express to your partner in that marriage relating to them, I know some partners may be difficult. Sometimes you might seek professional help and all that. I get it. But express your true feelings about whatever to them. Whether they want to hear it or not, at least you voice something out. It might be that you've said it at one time, let things be, and try to address it another time. You have to keep trying, because you're meant to be in that marriage for life. So you're not going anywhere. They are not going anywhere. One day you will have to still talk about things. Otherwise, you know what can happen. So the last one I'll mention is breakdown of trust. When things are hidden, because it's a taboo to tell your spouse this, it's a taboo to think like this, it's a taboo that this and that. When things get hidden, trust is weakened. Because as they say, no matter how long the lie goes on, for one day the truth will come out, and by the time it comes out without you saying it, it's even going to be worse than that it is. Because imagine your spouse finding out something, and you've kept this thing for years and years, and they now find out, not that you told them, but they found out. It will really hurt some more. But if you tell them, of course it's going to hurt, but not as much as they finding out from a stranger or a third party, or somebody they even least suspect. Like, this person know this about my spouse and I don't even know. Oh my goodness, that can kill a spouse, to be honest with you. So trust, when it is weakened, it has to be addressed. You cannot keep things hidden. When things are hidden, trust is weakened. Even if nothing wrong happened or is happening, be mindful of breakdown of trust. Don't say, because they say if I say this thing is a taboo. Meanwhile, you're breaking the trust in your spouse, and they find it hard. Once you break that trust, to rebuild it, it will take extra effort, extra hard work, extra everything, and then it will take time. And say, after all, you said you're forgiving me. Why are you still behaving like this? This is 2 years on. You're still behaving like that. Yeah, exactly, because you broke that thing. So it's hard to fix. Some people, in fact, they may never ever fix it like the way it used to be. But you can't blame them. Don't give them the reason to feel you're not trustworthy again. Because I believe in confrontation and reparation. I believe so much in that. So let's look at breaking the silence. That's why we're here today. Breaking that silence. Why taboos should be confronted. If you're just joining in, you're welcome. We're looking at taboos in marriage. And, I've talked about certain aspects of that. Who put these taboos there? Who says you can't talk about this? It's a taboo. No. So let's break that silence. Why taboos should be confronted. In a marriage relationship, like I said, the owner of this institution created it so that this husband and wife will live life together for the rest of their lives. And he knows it's going to be difficult, and he has given us the rules to help guide us. But we just push that rule aside and think, of ourselves. We can think of a way out. We can think of the strategies in the marriage and all that. Yeah, sometimes it works. Sometimes it does not work at all. You have to go back to that manual. So, listen, God helping us really. So we must break those taboos. We must confront them. So talking about difficult things doesn't weaken any marriage. In fact, personally, I believe it strengthens it, depending on how understanding and how open-minded we are. So open and honest conversations can build deeper trust. Don't say, I can't talk about this. So if you don't talk about it with your spouse, who else would you talk about it with? A stranger? You're not building a home with that stranger. You're not building a family with that stranger. Talk to your spouse. Like I said, some spouse may be difficult. They don't want to hear it. They're not in that headspace. Why are you bringing this up now? Don't you know that such talk is prohibited? All the grammar you can think of. At the end of the day, things are happening. You're not enjoying that marriage like you ought to. then let's talk about the reasons why or why not. Okay. Open and honest conversation can build deeper trust. That is the only way you can bond. What is it now? For every talk, put action to it, as much as it lies with both of you, so that you can grow deeper in the trust you have for one another. Open and honest conversation can create emotional and sexual intimacy as well. See, there's nothing I believe husband and wife will want to do that they will not have to talk about. No matter how hard or how easy it is, you still have to talk about it, because you want to get a result from whatever it is. How can you get a result? When would you just be nodding or just be walking past and be assuming that this person knows what you're thinking because you can't talk about it? So you just assume, and they too assuming this is what you think we're going to do. You now get there and you're doing two different things and you're wondering. Another conflict. Open your mouth. Be open and honest in your conversations, no matter how hard or how easy it is. Create emotional and sexual intimacy by talking. Open and honest conversation. Don't say, because it's a taboo. It might be a taboo in your culture, but in my culture, it's not a taboo. And if I don't talk about it, we can't fix it. Yes, 8:13, I see you. Good evening. Oh, thanks for the cup of tea, but I think it's ice cream I'd rather have now because it's very hot. It's very hot here in UK. Thank you so much for the heart to me. Thank you. And thank you for the likes as well. So again, open, honest conversation can help couples grow together. When you speak the same language, you understand one another, you're helping each other in that relationship, of course you're bound to grow together. And then, I don't want to say luckily, fortunately, if there are children in there, you do the same, and as a family you grow together. Help prevent future conflicts as well. When you're open and honest in your conversation, I mean, you get to a point that there's nothing you cannot talk to your spouse about. There's nothing you cannot open. In fact, you don't even think about it anymore. Sometimes you might just say certain things and say, shoot. Your spouse will even really want to cover your mouth. No, yeah, let's go up to the room and talk about this, amongst ourselves. Maybe the space is not conducive enough or whatever. But it just to let you know that there are levels you can get to in your relationship like that. Are those taboos? You just find out what's taboo. We don't have any taboo here. We talk about everything and anything as long as, we deal with it. Again, that way it prevents future conflicts, because you might foresee even, with the way this person is not wanting to hear this is going to happen in the future, and you just find a way to bring that conversation in. Be open about it, be respectful about it, and be honest about it. And you find out that you're preventing even future conflicts as well. And then the more you talk about certain things, the more you build together, the more you know each other's ways. And you find out that even this talk you're avoiding, you would have to talk less, because you now understand each other, because you're done with all those taboos. You've broken all those taboos down. You have confronted every taboo that is in the book regarding your marriage. And now you're in that space where you just find out that things are flowing the way they ought to flow. And again, it can heal past wounds. Some people, they might be 4 or 5 years, even 10 years in their relationship, and never for one day have they told their spouse of their past relationships, past heartbreaks, that sometimes maybe on their own they still reflect about it. If that person had not broken my heart, would I still be with them? And they want to share with their spouse, but because ex, we dare not talk about ex in this marriage or in this space or whatever, and they just bottle things and they can't heal fully. Maybe because that person broke up with them, and over time they met you, got married to you, life went on, you don't even talk about past heartbreaks or whatever. But it's still there, it's still there. They haven't had closure, as we say in counseling, about it. And it's something they really want to share with their spouse now, their husband, their wife. But because it's a taboo, you don't talk about such. Who says? Help your spouse heal. If you're the space that they need to heal, be that space for them. Silence can be more dangerous than the truth. Silence can be more dangerous than the truth. So addressing those taboos is not about blame, but it's about understanding, healing. Most importantly, healing your heart, healing your mind, healing your body even, and of course connecting with your spouse. So silence can be more dangerous than the truth. Say the truth and let the devil be ashamed, as they say. And there's another saying, if you say the truth, you're going to die. If you don't say the truth, you're still going to die. Let's just say the truth and die, as they say. But nobody's going to die in Jesus' name. But open and honest conversation, it goes a long way to breaking those taboos, quote and unquote. So let's look at healthy ways to address marital taboos. There's healthy way, there's an unhealthy way. Here we'll balance things by trying to do things more positively so that we can see good result as well. Oh my goodness. The weather. So let's see healthy ways to address marital taboos, because these things, sometimes you might have to pray for wisdom, because not everybody is mentally matured to handle certain taboo conversations. I always do this quote and unquote. So the first thing is to create a safe space. Even me as a counselor, when the client comes in, the contracting bit, I have to tell them about the space they're in, and the ins and outs and do's and don'ts and all of that. So this is how we address those taboos. Create a safe space. Choose a calm, private moment to talk. It's not when things are heated up, that's when you're not saying, hey, by the way, is this. Oh my goodness, your spouse might just explode at that time. Was that the best time to have brought that up? So we really need wisdom. Avoid bringing up heavy topics during conflicts or when emotions are high. You might not just achieve anything at that time. That taboo will remain in that household forever if care is not taken. So be mindful when you want to address these taboos we're talking about. Make sure that it's a calm environment. It's private as well, where it's you, husband and wife alone in that space, and you're free, to open up to your spouse. Again, use statements. We're looking at ways to address marital taboos in a healthy way. Use I statements. Say, for example, I feel like this time, you did this. I feel like you really didn't understand what I was trying to say. I feel, just say that you feel, instead of saying you always don't listen, you always you say that to reduce your defensiveness. So please be mindful. Use I feel. That way it is subtle. Instead of saying you always is very confrontational and they will fight you back. That is really mostly guaranteed that they will fight you back. So be mindful of your choice of words so that you can communicate in a healthy way to your spouse. Whatever this taboo thing is, whatever this don't say this is, please be mindful how you say it. Again, listen to understand. Maybe I should reverse. Sometimes our spouses will hear us, but they're not listening. They're not listening and they can't process what you've just said. But sometimes they listen and they try to understand before they respond. And sometimes the response might not come immediately. It doesn't mean they're walking away. It doesn't mean they're avoiding it. It just means they want to understand what they have just listened to you say. So always you prepare yourself as well to listen to understand. So don't just wait for your turn to speak. You're saying this, I have to say this and all. No, try to listen and understand that all these things your spouse is trying to say, all these taboos they're trying to break, so to say, it's coming from somewhere. Nobody just wakes up and want to address nothing, so to say. So be mindful. Truly listen to your spouse, even when what they're saying is uncomfortable. I know it can be hard. Sometimes some spouses have had to walk away from their spouse just because of what they're saying is so uncomfortable. They don't want to be in that space at all. Even when the place is calm, and then you just feel, okay, if things are calm, you feel, to bring this up. and they just turn it upside down, and they are avoiding it, or they can't handle it, or it's too much, or whatever it is. But always go with the mindset of listening to understand where your spouse is coming from. That way you're going to build something deeper with your spouse. And this one, I always say, seek counseling. Sometimes a third party, like a therapist or a marriage counselor, can actually help facilitate difficult conversations. Those taboo conversations you dare not talk about, take it to that counselor. Let there be a third party in there. They're professionals. They will help you handle that conversation. And after some time, you find out that at home you're comfortable, carrying such a conversation yourselves, which is the whole idea. Sometimes you might need help to kickstart the conversations. Do not feel ashamed. Do not feel, is my marriage weak, or is this? No. Seek help when you need it. That's why they're called help. Please do not shy away from that if you absolutely need that. So be honest and gentle. Be honest, or be gentle the way you say what. Speak the truth with love, because you want to be heard. You want to be listened to. You want to be understood. Honesty that should heal, not hurt. So when you're speaking, are you speaking this thing to hurt, or are you speaking this so that they can hear you and find solutions if that's what the case is needing? So be honest, but be gentle. Like I say, sometimes some people have kept this taboo for such a long time. They're boiling, it's like they want to explode and all that, and they're not even waiting for the right moment. They just blot everything out, and all of that. And your spouse felt things were calmer. Where is all this coming from? And it's taking them like a shock. It's a shock to them. So they can't understand that. So you're not gentle. Whatever it is you've said, you have not said it in love, and it's thrown them really, and they're not responding well either. So we have to be considerate to our spouses. If you want them to understand, use kind words, or still express what you're feeling in a very, very healthy way, like I said, and the Lord will help us all. So the bit again I want us to look at is faith and spiritual perspective. This one honestly should be like a topic on its own, but I'll just run through it. Indonesia, I see you, King Omar. Is it Omar or Omare? I see you. You're welcome. Good evening. So faith and spiritual perspective. For those coming from a faith-based background, the Bible encourages honesty and openness in marriage. And you find out that people hide behind that taboo just because they don't want to be honest with their spouse, just because they don't want to be open in their conversation with their spouse. What is taboo? What is it? They say there's nothing new under the sun. Where am I from? I'm talking to you now from the United Kingdom, but I am originally, I don't know how to explain this, I'm a Nigerian. I live in the UK, if that is what you mean. Where are you from, King Omar, as well? So for those coming from faith-based background, the Bible encourages honesty and openness in our marriages. For example, if you read Genesis 2:25, it says Adam and his wife were both naked and they felt no shame, meaning no taboo in any marriage should be in any marriage. No taboo. It may sound funny, do you know what you're saying? You don't understand. Who else would you share that stuff with? A third party outside your marriage? So you tell me, because how do you want to bond with your spouse when you're sharing those things you're supposed to share with them with somebody totally different? That means you're bonding whatever capacity on that level with a stranger, and you're allowing your spouse to miss out on that bond with you. Adam and Eve were both naked and they were not ashamed. That is what the Bible says. So you and your husband, you and your wife should be naked and not be ashamed. If you can be naked with one another and not be ashamed, what is that thing you're still keeping? What is that secret? What is that taboo that cannot be talked about with your spouse? So this symbolizes full vulnerability. meaning a husband is vulnerable to the wife is vulnerable to the husband, physically, emotionally, spiritually as well. There shouldn't be anything of shame. Even if there's anything, we're supposed to cover one another, really. So, if you read another portion, I'll mention another one quickly. Ephesians 4:15, it says, instead, speaking the truth in love, we will grow to become in every aspect the mature body of him who is the head, that is Christ. Meaning that growth in relationship comes from truth. Spoken in love, truth. Spoken in unity, truth. Spoken with openness and honesty. Not silence or in fear. Because there is no how. Like I always say here, even if your spouse is a mind reader, one day they will read your mind wrongly. So what then happens? You will still have to open your mouth and say what you're feeling or what is going on with you. Because they might read the mind and not read right at that particular time. So you will still have to say it. It might be heavy, it might be too deep, it might be hard, it might be unforgiving, it might be shameful, whatever it is. Your spouse is the one person you can share that with unapologetically, really. So let's be mindful. I know it's a hard topic, but these things have to be said if we truly want to enjoy our marriage relationship. So, real life scenarios, I'm going to end, about ending. I just felt to give us some real life practical scenarios. I know there's 1,000,001 scenarios out there. Some have had the worst outcome. Some have even lost their lives in the process of keeping this taboo, don't talk about it, don't do this, no. The Lord will help us. I'll say this before I say these real life scenarios I'm about to share with us. If for anything, this particular topic is triggered, whatever for you, and you really need to talk, please DM me, as I will say. I'm a professional counselor. If you need to book sessions or whatever it is, please just reach out to me. I'm available, at least as soon as I can be. I will be available to help you deal with whatever is triggering for you, or whatever you're going through and you need a professional help. So please feel free to do that. In case you're wondering, let me not take time with that. Go to my bio and read, or you can look up FunmiRoyal and be the judge yourself. Or if you want us to talk about it or want me to refer you to a colleague or something, please feel free as well. So, real life scenario, I'm going to give us 3 scenarios, and I want us to kind of think about it and reflect about it. I don't want us to compare our own marriage with it, but look at it as a case study. Yeah, maybe as a case study. So, scenario 1, a couple afraid to discuss infertility. They eventually opened up and discovered options they never considered, and that brought them really closer, because everybody was just in a world of their own. Hey, with this, they've never sat down to actually talk about it, assuming, and years upon years going by, and one day they dared themselves, sat down and talked about it, and actually they thought that all the things they were assuming or they were thinking about, both of them were thinking about it individually. And now together they're sitting and talking about it. It just bonded them closer together. And then solution came as a result of that open and honest conversation. And breaking whatever taboo. Don't talk about, we don't have child. Don't talk about it. Don't jinx it. No, please. It's unnecessary. Scenario 2, I'm going to share with us. A husband hiding debt finally confessed to his spouse. It led to a rough conversation, but they made a financial plan together and saved their marriage. Imagine that man still hiding stuff. Keeping secret is a taboo. The head of the home in financial ruins. Hey, we can never hear this. It's a taboo. Do not say. But the man was suffering in silence, not knowing that putting heads together with the wife, there will be a solution. And they were able to put plans in place and that saved their marriage. So please do not allow, so what God has joined together, let no taboo put asunder. And the last case scenario I'm going to mention is a wife feeling emotionally unfulfilled voiced her needs, leading to renewed connection and understanding of themselves, in that marriage. And the husband felt, so you mean you've been going through all of this? Why didn't you tell me? Something we don't talk about, da. But now she dared to talk about it. And it brought them so close together. Vulnerability with your spouse is very important. It's like closing your eyes and falling and praying and trusting your spouse is going to catch you. So in each case scenario that I've just mentioned, breaking that taboo didn't destroy the marriage. It actually saved it. So you don't know that talking about that taboo might actually save your marriage. Yeah, it may rock the boat, it may shake the roses or whatever, but eventually it might just save your marriage. You never know until you try. So that is my thought for us, and those scenarios I hope we'll think about it as well. So in conclusion, taboos in marriage are like shadows. They thrive in silence, but they lose their power in the light. The moment you talk about it, it's no longer a taboo, and you don't have to be afraid of it anymore. Every strong marriage is built not just on love, but on courage. The courage to talk about the hard stuff. That's why I always say, dare us on insight to actually talk about these taboos, the hard stuff. This is where we talk about it here on Insight. So let us stop pretending that silence equals peace. You might say, I just want my silence, or I want my peace. Let me just be quiet and have my peace. But then you're suffering peacefully, so to say. Yeah. Let us start that conversation that matters. That conversation that you've thought about it. Hey, the only way out is to talk about these things so that we can talk about the solutions. The more you keep denying yourself about talking about it, the more you're denying you enjoying that marriage relationship. Think about that. I want to enjoy my marriage. So I will talk about it. We may argue about it. We may not want to hear about it, but at least the word is out there. So let everybody go and mull over it. Everybody reflect over it, ponder on it and all of that. And then we'll revisit it again another time, because there has to be a way forward. When two people choose honesty, vulnerability, and grace, there is no topic on earth that will be too big to overcome. Honestly, sometimes we are the ones, putting ourselves in certain bondages. You find out that the moment you can sit with your spouse and talk about things, that thing is broken. And I'm telling you, it is broken for life. In your marriage, in my marriage, in the name of Jesus. Guys, honestly, that is the end of my talk. And I have one question actually. I was thinking of two, but I said let's make it one so that at least everybody can contribute based on that one question, or whatever you want to share with us regarding this topic, because it's breaking up marriages. Couples are separating because you dare not talk about this, and they're suffering years and years and years, and they get to that break point. I can't do this anymore, and that's the end of the marriage. Kenneth, good evening, you're welcome. So the question after my talk is, do you believe that avoiding uncomfortable topics in marriage protects or harm the relationship? And why do you think so? Do you think avoiding uncomfortable topics in a marriage protects that marriage, or does it harm the relationship? Why do you think so? That is actually the end of my talk. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you. Thank you, A13, I see you. Faith Muna, I see you. Thank you, Kenneth, you're welcome.
day. Bring understanding and love.
Thank you so much. Thank you, 830. Oh my god, you've taken it to 15. Thank you so much for the likes. So that is my 2 cents on this topic. Like I say, we dare ourselves to talk about these taboos. Says who? Why do we put that on our marriages such that it's affecting us, and yet we say, we can't talk about it, it's a taboo. Don't talk about sex, it's a taboo. Don't talk about feelings, it's a taboo. Don't talk about money. Is why? Yet you're in that marriage relationship and you're going through sex, you're going through money, you're going through vulnerability, struggles, and all of that. Why not talk about it with your spouse and be liberated? And who knows, together you pray about it and your deliverance might just come, instead of shying away and say, I dare not say this to my husband, or I dare not say this to my wife, or would they understand? Is a taboo in our culture, in our society, in this, in that, and yet people are suffering in that marriage. Let us break down those taboos so that we can enjoy the goodness of marriage as God intended. So guys, let's come up and talk some more about this. Let's share our own thoughts, our examples, our real life examples, if you want to, whatever you want to share with us tonight, because like I say, I'm here to learn as well. Do you believe that avoiding uncomfortable topics in marriage, it will protect your marriage, or do you think it will harm your marriage? What is your take? Because people are actually going through this topic in their homes right now. This taboo things, you dare not say this, you dare not say that. It's a taboo. Who says? And yet you're living in fear, because whatever it is you dare not say, if your spouse were to find out, it's not going to be anything sweet. It's not going to be anything nice. So why not sit your spouse down and just open up, open and honest talk. Have it with your spouse. If they're going to rake, if they're going to shout, if they're going to rage, let them do within the space where you're in, rather than maybe hide it, and somehow they get to hear whatever it is from somebody else or a family member. This will really hurt so deep. So to avoid that, break the norm or break the taboo, break it. Look it in the eye and say, you know what, you're coming down today, and share with your spouse. And pray before you do that, if you're a believer, so that God will soften their heart, or God will give them a heart of understanding towards whatever you want to share with them. It's very important. It's very important. Otherwise, you just be living in that marriage in fear, living in secret, and all of that is not good for the body or the mind. So let's talk some more about this. Send an invite, or if you have anything to share, please send an invite. I'll see who is at 8:13. Let's bring you up as well. It's amazing. It's amazing. A lot going on in marriages. People separating, people divorcing, and this is not God's will, not God's plan for marriage. It's you and I, Kenneth, here today. You're the one opening the floor for us. I hope you're good. Happy Thursday. I hope your day has been good as well. Hello, 8:13. Can you hear me?
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Oh, okay. I hope you're good, Kenneth.
Yeah, good, thank you. Just the
You're,
weather.
I know. See, it's very hot. I've been drinking, and God will help. It's so hot.
Okay.
I think it was about 30 degrees today.
Yeah, I heard that this week is hot.
Yeah, it's been very hot. Yesterday too was about 30, 31.
God will help
I
us.
know. God will indeed help us.
Mm.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think you came in not too long ago. I don't know how much of my talk you heard.
Almost the last part.
Yeah, but I talked about it. Maybe I should just let me go back to the part where I tried to talk about what these taboos are, the taboos in marriage.
Hmm.
Okay, I talked about why they exist as well. So the taboos in marriage, it's funny. I'll just mention the most common ones because there's so many of them. So when I say taboos in marriage, I'm talking about sexual expectations or dissatisfaction is a taboo. You dare not talk. How can you tell your spouse that they're not satisfying you? Shh, don't say it, but they're suffering in silence. Another one is discussing money problems or financial control. They'll be like, the husband, or some culture will say, the husband handles all the money. Once you collect your salary, just give it to the man. He will handle everything. If you need money for anything, you now go back to the man and take everything. You can't say, my dear husband, I want to do this, or is a taboo. No, don't talk about money problems. Another one is expressing emotional or mental health struggles. It could be a man struggling, he's got some mental health struggles and he can't share with his wife because it's a taboo. Otherwise, the wife will look at him as weak, or the women will look at the man as, all those things that people say. So they're now suffering in silence because it's a taboo you don't talk about. Another one I mentioned is infidelity or attraction outside the marriage. I mean, things happen, life happens. Has a wife, I'm sure it's been heard of before, a wife or husband can go home and say, guess what? There's this person at work I am attracted, your wife is attracted to, and they have the confidence to come share this with you. And nobody's sending a photo, or your friends are saying, you don't say such a thing to your husband. Hey, it's a taboo. And this woman is feeling like, if I don't share with my husband, what if I fall in temptation? Sharing with my husband will help me to be strong, that he will encourage me, or he would, but they say it's a taboo. You dare not tell your husband you're feeling something for somebody else. No, it's a taboo. But these things happen. Another one is speaking openly about past relationships. I don't know, Kenneth. I know you're married, I believe so. Do you know who your wife dated before meeting you? Whether
Yes.
it's one, so some people say, it's in the past. They don't, it's a taboo. You dare not tell your current past
Hmm.
partner about your past heartbreaks or relationship or something like that, but not knowing that they probably have not even fully healed, or there's something there that they need closure, but if they don't share, how would they overcome that? And another one is setting boundaries with in-laws or extended family. In our culture, my family is still my family. They can come in and out of my house anyhow. They don't even have to announce they're coming, blah, blah, blah. They say don't set boundaries, or it's a taboo. They come in and out as they like. That is the norm. So you dare not say, please, if we don't know you're coming, don't come, or something like that. So there's so many like that I don't know where these laws, where they come from. Who has placed them on marriages? Who says husband and wife cannot talk about their expectations in the other room and talk about it openly and freely? Why should they shy away from talking about it? And meanwhile, there's problem. So I've said quite a lot. I don't want to go over the notes again, but just to give you a background into where we're coming from in terms of this taboo. So my one question after this talk now is, do you think, or do you believe that avoiding uncomfortable topics in marriage protects the marriage, or does it harm that marriage relationship? So I don't know where your take is gonna be. Let's hear you.
All right. Let me start by this way. In marriage, the first 10 years of marriage is whereby you guys are learning from each other, knowing what is good and what each other like and what they don't like.
Leslie, good evening.
And we must always fall victim by using wrong word at the very very beginning in every marriage.
Sorry, Kenneth, can you hear me clearly? Because that fan makes lots of
Yes,
noise.
I
I don't know
can
whether
hear
I should
you.
turn it
I can
off.
hear you clearly.
Yeah, okay, all right, thank you.
So when we talk about the wrong word that we are using to our spouse,
Brian.
I will start by saying the way you brought up the areas and where you and your spouse brought up might not be the same environment, might not be the same culture. But due to when you guys start living together, you start to understand what she like and what you like and what you don't like. So at the very first 10 years, you must use word that she don't like. But when you see that she don't like those kind of word, you try to stop it for you to protect your marriage and for you not to alter her feeling or your own feeling. So when we say taboo in marriage, there are many things that many things that our fathers, our mothers never say that this generation we say it. Why will we say it? Because it's good when you speak out. You don't die according to our people that say when you say the truth will set you free. A lot of people in marriage in those days, the time of our father when we were growing up, we see them die in silence. The men, the women die in silence. I don't want to say anything. I don't want people to laugh at me. But this generation, we voice out. Why would we voice out? Because it's good when you voice out. Solution must come, help must come. Somebody must direct you of what you do. Although some people might laugh at you, but there must be a way out when you speak out. That is why it's good to you to speak out. But one thing I always tell people that in marriage, whether it's good or bad, there must be up and down for the first 10 years. Then after that, if you can break that barrier
Survive.
after that 10 years, you guys understand. You now understand each other. You don't use
Sorry,
negative words.
sorry, Kenneth. The one I heard is if you can survive the first 13 years, you'll be fine.
Yeah, my own. I will use my own as an example because my
10.
own is 10 years. After our first 10 years, after
Yeah.
the bars boost everything, we now start understanding what is good and what is not good. Give me my space, I give you your space. Talk if this thing wrong, you talk it out, voice it out, and we apologize or you will apologize. By so doing, we get to understand each other. Today we are living. I can say something, you say you don't start with this some negative word again. Just like that, we laugh over it. But it's so you don't see those kind of things
Yeah.
because I will always use where I grew up. You will see when my father is coming, everybody, including the so-called wife, will be scared of your own husband. Everybody will be arranging themselves. It's like military
Or you
barrack.
even go and hide somewhere. You don't want to see it.
Everybody will
You
try
duck.
to conti he step into the house ahead and we not see the mood. If he's in a good mood, we know that he's in a good mood. If he's in a bad mood, we know that he's in a bad mood. Everybody will just position themselves
I
till
know.
the next day. Till the next day again in the morning, maybe we meet him or we don't meet him. It continue like that. But this generation, that's why I said that this our generation is very, very different. And thank God that things are beginning to expose, not like before.
Yeah.
Not
All
like
those
before.
hidden taboos
All
is
those
now
things
out in the open.
no, it's open now. That is why we are thanking God for the exposure of that. We are not living like civilized people. Civilized people before a woman cannot go to a husband that I want you. But now you will see, yes,
It's a
back,
taboo. Oh.
yes,
In fact, it's
before that
still a
was
taboo
yes.
in some
In
culture.
yes, in some men, some people still practice it,
Yeah.
but it's not fair. He said your body belongs to me. According to the Bible, it says man shall live and they will become one. But some people don't understand those things in
Yeah.
the Bible. They thought that it's only when they need it I will come close to my wife. Oh no, you guys have become one now.
Yeah.
You voice out what is wrong, the negative word that you are saying. I don't like what you say. Please, we apologize. But at first, pride, mostly with the men, pride with that. I'm the head of the home. No, by so doing, we are trying to scatter our marriage. We are trying to break up our home. But we thank God that by gradual process, God help us to skate through. Today now we can boldly say all that we went through up and down. We have the power to overcome everything. Today now we are living in peace. But one thing I always tell people: if you newly marry, there must be turns, there must be up and down. Whether you like it, whether you don't like it, is there to come. If it's for you to put yourself together, study yourself to know what your spouse like and what he don't like. Talk to each other. Don't hide anything. Voice out to each other, and at times look for somebody that have experience like I would call a mentor, somebody that will put you through, that has been there before to encourage you. If not, there's no way you cannot go through all these things in marriage whereby you will use wrong word. At the end of the day, we say it's a taboo. It's a taboo. There's so many transculture today. When a woman say word, they're going to kill goat, they're going to kill fowl, they call for family meeting. But the woman is saying it, but she's saying the truth. If you are
Yeah.
not, as a man, if you are not performing well, you have a weakness. You have a weak that you seek for medical help, but because of pride, our people will not say anything. But you are killing that woman silently.
Hey, I'm
At the
telling
end,
you.
when she put leg outside, they will say, call for family meeting, go and kill God. Those don't solve the problem. The problem is still
Oh.
there.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is still there. So when the woman says, let's seek for medical help, take a yes, she's trying to help you because of the love that he have for you. But when she see that you are not responding, at the end of the day, she will find out where she will find. Most when she meet all these bad friends, I've got them, that will tell her, what are you waiting
You
for?
will help her help you now.
Exactly. So that is why taboo in marriage is, for me, I will say that every man, everybody must go through it, but it's how you come out of it that matters a lot, because you must use word that you are not supposed to use for the first 10 years. From my own experience, I don't know about other home, but I'm talking from my own experience. The first 10 years was up and down until after the 11 years that we start understanding each other. But today now we are 16 to 17 years for
Hallelujah.
the way of the Lord.
Wow. Wow. I just clap for you. I didn't mean for you to stop. Please carry on. Wow.
Okay. Carry
So,
on.
so, so you're saying that avoiding uncomfortable topics in your marriage is
We
not.
help you. We help you, but there is no way you can avoid it for the first 10 years. For the first 10 from years, there is no way you can avoid it,
Hmm.
because you must speak out until you see that yes, you people are met together now. Yes, you avoid, you swallow some things now that I know that is going to hurt my wife. I don't say it
Hmm.
because now I have that maturity. But
Beg.
that first 10 years, I will talk it to. I will, you like it or not, I will
Thank
talk
you,
it.
my
At
dear.
times, it will go to the end that family meeting, member we hear. But after that 10, 11 years, we don't even take any matter to each other,
Wow, you've
family,
grown. You've
brothers or
grown.
sisters again, because we are grown people now. We now have that experience that
Experience.
I don't mind what you say. It's just your way. We laugh over it, but for that first 10 years, no. I will call my senior brother. I will call my mother. I will call my cousin.
You're
They will
fine.
not come for family meeting. But one thing I like for my wife, I will still keep saying it. She never one day call any of our family member up till now. But me, when we first married, everybody must
Wow.
hear. Everybody, she did anything wrong, little thing, I pick the phone, make all those unnecessary
I
call.
thought I thought I thought it's the women that usually would do that, not the men.
No, some men, we at times when the Bible says the women are the weakest vessel, it's a lie. Some men, we are weak. We are weak in some area. We are weak in some area. Some women have that maturity
Mm.
more than some men. That is why you see that it's women that build home. It's women that build them. But some men will not agree. They think is because they are providing, they are the provider. They think that no, it's women
That's
that build home, because it's women that seen what is lacking
yeah.
and what you need to do in that home that would make you become what you will become in life. Until most of women come to that understanding that is women that build on. That is why when women say, I don't like this thing, I don't like this,
You
or
don't
stop,
take your word, yeah.
better you stop, because see, I've seen it that this thing that you are saying is not leading you anywhere. It's not leading you anywhere. It's going to bring discussion. But you, as a man, you will say, no, I'm the head, I'm the head, I'm the head, I'm the head. And you are the head, you are the head. At the end of the day, it's your second or your third marriage. Because what you don't like for the first one is the same thing you're not going to like for the second one. So you keep on going. you keep on going, you keep on going. At the end of the day, that we say five women has left you. That means it shows that there is something in you you
That you
need to
haven't
work.
dealt with. Yeah.
You need to work on yourself. But when we that come from a home that we see three, four women, but we want us not to go all through those process of our father. We try to quickly understand and amend our way. After amending our way, today we are living in peace all to the glory of the Lord. If not, there is nobody that will say when that thing of the voice eats you, when that thing, that devil, when he eats you, it takes the grace of God for you to overcome it. Take the grace and the spirit of God for you to overcome it. But we don't pray for anyone to scatter. And we pray that God Almighty will avoid all those negative talk, those talk that don't glorify the name of the Lord out of every home in the name of Jesus. God bless you for now.
Thank you. Wow. In fact. Thank you so much. In fact, this is the most I've heard you speak, honestly. I see that's your 10 years thing. In fact, you can write a book on
Uh,
it.
most time, most time, but mostly on Monday, I'm at work all this. Today,
Oh,
I'm not working. That is why you see me. I don't speak long because maybe
oh.
I'm with a
So you finish
patient.
work for today?
No, yeah, I'm not working on Thursday.
Oh,
I'm working
okay.
for Sunday to Thursday morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so from Thursday to Saturday, I'm at home. That's why you see on mostly on Monday, maybe I'm with a patient or doing medication or
Oh,
something. You know, when you are doing
yeah, you
medication,
have
you need to
to.
concentrate for you not to make mistake.
Mhm.
That is
But the
why
fact that you still come, honestly, I really, really appreciate it.
always I'm there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for helping to build this community as well. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you for your contribution. Wow, wow. Experience, they say, is the best teacher. So, Kenneth have just said to us that avoiding all those uncomfortable topics, all those taboos, is not going to help your marriage. And he's shared a bit of his. I mean, that has helped him to grow. Now, the things that they used to banter about and all, now they laugh over it. And it's because you and your wife have taken time to process life together, whether uncomfortable. At the time it was uncomfortable because it was creating a lot, and then you find out that coming out from 10 years, these things we can enjoy it. Or when we understand each other now, the things we used to fight about or bicker about now, is you're just laughing over it. And it just shows commitment on on both sides. Both of you committed to that marriage relationship, and hence you've been able to build thus far. And I mean, like I said, marriage is supposed to be for life. So there's no way we're running to. And again, as long as it's not domestic violence, domestic abuse we're talking about, and even that, some couples have managed to overcome that as well with help. They've been able to, come over to the other side, and now they're enjoying their marriage, and that now is like a thing of the past. So it can be done. It takes two actually for that to happen. So A13, good evening. I hope you are good. Leslie, I'm gonna come to you. It's a Thursday, and I know it's summer. People may be out and about after work. So, like I said, even me, I'm hoping we'll finish early today. It's getting busy, busy, busy by this summer. God will help us. Leslie, I hope you're good. How was your exam? Have you done your exam, or you're still preparing?
No, I have one more unit to go now, so I'm
Oh,
pretty
wow.
much a week
Wish you
away from
all the
finishing
best.
now.
Do us
So
proud,
yeah,
though.
Madam has declared surplus. That one we because
So,
uh,
therefore,
the devil
flying
has just
colors.
the devil's a liar. The devil's a lie. It really just came
Amen.
and disturbed me.
Amen.
But we thank God for His
Thank
grace.
God. I hope you're
So
good as
yeah,
well.
good, good. Apart from these heat, but we're
I
enjoying the
know.
weather.
Tell
I'm
me
grateful.
about
I'm
it. When
grateful.
it's
The
cold, we
weekends have been good.
complain. When it's too hot, we complain. You, these children of God, what do you want?
No, we are appreciating it too. We appreciate it too, especially for laundry.
Oh,
We
yeah,
appreciate it.
exactly. This one, before you even finish washing the thing, once it's
Watch
got
it.
to dry,
Yeah.
which is good. We're not complaining, at least.
Mm.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, this is a strong topic you brought up today. So,
I know, but it's affecting
yeah,
homes, and we're daring
yeah.
ourselves to talk about it here.
And again, especially for Nigerian marriages, it's funny that we have these things. But I love what Brother Kenneth said. That this generation is different, and I thank God. And I think it's because we have seen from the previous one that okay, they kept all those things, but how did it help them? A lot of marriages had divorce. A lot of, even those ones that didn't divorce, was a lot of secret relationships, a lot of infidelity. So the domestic violence was quite common, whether we want to admit it or not. It was quite common, So I think we are recognizing that there's a lot of people who are beginning to see that we went through trauma. It's just the grace of God. We didn't lose our mind.
Sometimes some of us will sit down. Remember when our moms were beaten, our moms were beaten. I'll be like, it's not this man's child though, like, Oh, it is well.
So it's a very interesting. I'm glad you brought up the topic. It's a good one. But that said, there's taboos in marriage, and I think sometimes it depends. I think sometimes it depends on the people who created the taboos or call it so, but in marriage, I believe that what we're calling taboo is really people trying to conceal things. In marriage, we are supposed to get to a place where we become very transparent.
Yeah.
We are supposed to get to a place where nothing is hidden. Get to that place where we are clear with each other, and that takes time. There was a book I think we got, maybe it was 2018, 2019. It was called the 365 Questions for Married Couples, and it was by this married people. I've gotten their name. They are based in the States, and it's one question per day for 1 year. And they go through heavy. They have light and they have some very heavy ones, and but I tell you, it improves the dynamic of your marriage. It really shows up. It shows it up in a way that it shows it up in a way that you really begin to discover yourselves in a way you didn't see before.
Can you type that book, please? Type it there. Let's see.
Yeah, I will give you the link. I can DM you. I'll DM you the link.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
I'll DM you the link. It's in fact, they now have it for teenagers as well and children. So how you address your children. Yeah, so it's a very, very good. But it started off with married people first because they're a marriage ministry. And it's funny that both of them came from broken families, both of them. So that they've done for them to do this today. They've really done their homework. But it's a lot of things that they share. But that book, one of the questions they ask you is past relationships, and they actually structure how you discuss that question.
Wow.
Let's just say it meant for 3 days of talking. But do you know today that none of us? But do you know that today nobody shy away from it. Nobody shy away from it now. We talk because one of the things they said in the book is that we're human. You don't know who you're going to marry until you know them. And sometimes it depends on what your experiences are, your background, environment, all sorts of things. Both of us left Nigeria to come here as students when we were quite young. So of course we're not. Well, I don't know who I'm going to marry, and we're all going to have our experiences. Especially when you go to university. That's a whole different story. But it was a very interesting topic that was brought up, and another one was writing down our financial goals and visions. Now, before we got married, we did a course on financial this thing. But these people, they take it to the next level where you now write the things you want to plan for when you have X amount of money, and how you're going to achieve those things. So it's a very I think finances is a taboo, and I think the reason why it's quote unquote is taboo is the real issue is control.
Yeah.
It's who is control. A lot of it is control, and if you really think about it, it's to do with how certain people, especially men, want to be perceived in the marriage. So you will hear, and I hear this a lot nowadays, and I'm thinking there's a sort of, I think there's a lot of confusion where where it's almost like they're saying when it comes to the man, certain things should be expected or should be overlooked, allowed, which I find very funny, because the same people are saying men are logical, but then when it comes to relationships with the opposite sex, there's no more logic anymore. So I'm thinking, which one is it? Are we logical, or are we, And then the same people will be shouting they want respect, and I'm thinking, but you're doing everything that's disrespectful, So
you're controlling it.
So it's an issue of control. So when you start seeing certain taboos, if I think sometimes you find out what's the root of that thing. Is it an issue of control? Is somebody trying to say, I want to control this situation, I want to control this person, I want to control how this person this thing? And and when it comes to marriage, it depends on who wants to be seen and perceived, and how they want to see things and perceive things in that marriage. So you see some men, when it comes to them, it's okay for them to have multiple exes, but their missus should not know anybody but them. And
How are those exes?
exactly. I want to. Thank you. I start to think to myself, what cognitive dissonance
Double
is this
standard.
person?
Double standard.
Really, exactly. And again, it's because they don't logically think a lot of these things through. They shout and preach logic, but they don't actually analytically think a lot of the things they are thinking through. So yeah, in marriage, it's going to be, there will be. I just think a lot of those things. I feel really the goal of marriage is that we get to a point where we are transparent, and that's because we are becoming one. I get to a point where I care about my wife's feelings much more than my own, and vice versa. And there are things that would show that or reflect that over time. That's what happens. And part of that is building trust. And trust comes through understanding. And if you're going to get understanding, you're going to, get under certain issues. You're going to have to find out certain things about each other, whether you like it or not. So it's good. It's very. It's funny. There was a live I was on a couple of nights ago. They actually called me to come and join them, and I said, "Oh, I'll just join." And the issue was, why is it that when people are struggling with communication, and they're talking about Nigerian marriages, why is there communication? And I said it's because we haven't practiced the discipline of just learning to talk to each other.
Yeah.
Just talk. What tends to happen is certain people think that they just give commands and that's it. They don't really sit down to talk.
They don't make conversations.
Yeah, there's no conversation. There's no structured. I literally said, you've got to practice just talking to your wife on a daily basis. Just talk. Talk about things that concern you. Talk about things that interest you. Talk about what your goals and plans. It's not just talking about bills. Just talk about a lot, as many topics as you can. Just talk about on a regular, so that when difficult times do show up, because you've built some sort of rapport, you will actually have developed a skill of dialogue, rather than just backing out commands and insisting on your way. And that is because you regularly talk. You regularly talk. Or else what happens is that I said that what happens is that a lot of people, who they are in their career, in their world, they want to bring that home, and it doesn't work.
No.
And I would say that's why a certain businessman was running his mouth to a president of the US. And I'll say the reason why he said those things and now he's regretting it is because he didn't learn the discipline of communication in his home. That's what happens when you don't know how to communicate to your wife, and that's what happens when you are divorcing left and center because you think you can marry. Now you don't know how to communicate publicly. If you have learned the skill of communication in your home, you will. There's, as my brother said, there are certain things you will not say to his wife today. Why? Because you learned those things. You learned that skill, and it's the same thing for me. There are certain things now that I would not say to my, even if I'm angry, I won't say it. I just won't say it because I've learned. We have learned to dialogue. We've learned. There's no point of going there. There's no point of going there.
Yeah.
You know, we've learned it. We've learned that thing, and that comes because you have spent time. You've dialogued. You've learned to talk. You've learned to communicate. So yeah. So when it comes to taboo in marriage, you know,
So yeah, I should ask you the question as well. Do you believe that avoiding uncomfortable topics in marriage protects that marriage,
no, it doesn't.
Harm that marriage?
It doesn't, because and it's funny. That's why people end up doing certain things outside that they really want to do in their marriage. Whereas if they actually talk to each other about it, talk to each other, and again, it takes practice. You're not going to get this thing overnight. It takes time. But it's and again, don't make it a fight as well. Like just
because
make,
I don't understand. Wait, wait first. Let's break it down.
Yeah.
Say now, you and I were married, yeah, and I come to you and say, guess what? I'm going out to commit adultery with this person, oh, yeah. You not say I'm my wife. Well done. Oh yeah, go, and come back later and tell me. So you know that you cannot say that outrightly, openly, honestly. So when you now go behind and do it, don't you think that it is still wrong?
Good point.
Because if you feel that, I mean, you're the head of the home or whatever it is you can do and undo, and automatically you're telling your wife that she too, she can go and do the same. But why is it that when men do, they will say to the woman, cover your home or this. So, but if the woman does, she's the whole family will come and carry her load. Double standard.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying.
It's a taboo for women, but not taboo for men.
And it's wrong. And the reason why I say, and this is why you see a lot of this time, the number one thing why they keep complaining is respect. But then you're not doing things that
you
garner respect.
Things. You don't demand. The more you demand it, the more you lose it.
That's it.
You have to earn it.
Yeah, and part of that is talking to your wife about certain things. If it's bedroom matter, again, Google's your friend. Find a way to structure that conversation. And you can even say, look, we're not going to deal with it all at once. Maybe you say over a period of a week, we will structure a certain time, 10, 15 minutes. And you find things that will make it humorous as well. But one of the things that you probably can, if you can find a good book about it to help break the ice, that will also help.
There's so many help out there, but people will not seek that help. That will help them in their marriage.
Because I think they're locked in their way. They've come to a place, and yet the same people want to do certain things in that marriage with other people. I know so because I've met, I have friends, I have had people like that in my life. I know that. So, and I would like tell them that this thing you want to do, why don't you talk to your wife about it? And you know, do you understand? I said, so what makes you think that doing this with somebody else makes it any better? That if your mother felt the exact same way, will be tied her. I'm like, but you're doing the exact, yes, you're doing. So it's like they almost think to themselves like, when it's me, it's okay, but when it's her, no. It cannot. And I'm like, no, that's part of your problem, and that's why when you do, you project. Now you see her as if she's behaving like you, but it's not the same. It's just you behaving like that because that's how you're projecting your emotions and feelings on that person. So it's such a thing that again, a lot of these taboos is really an issue of control. It's an issue of control, and in a marriage, I don't know why people get married to people they can't talk to. I don't know why people get married to people they're not willing to do stuff with. How do they even
get to the place of I do in the first place? Because I don't know, even I'm thinking when you were courting each other, you were talking about everything and anything, and then
I think they stop.
You would think
I
now
think
that
they
you're living
stopped.
together, you should even expand that some more, but rather it stops.
Okay, also that let me give an example. So in 2017, certain things happened, and we made some life decisions that we were going to dedicate a day in a week for just ourselves, like certain time. It has now grown to almost 2 days by the grace of God. But it started off as a day, and I'm not even talking about the full day, like it was a few hours.
Yeah.
Do you know now we absolutely crave that time every week
Wow.
together? And this has been a practice since 2017. But I would say it was really in 2020 that this thing was established. That yeah, this is we make it a practice that we are going to hang out together and talk and do. And a lot of things have come out of us doing these things together, despite our schedule, everything. Because what we learned is that I told my wife, I said to her that the if the and I said that I worked in investment banking. I said if the executive can make time for illicit affairs, we can make time for anything. No, it's an issue of priority.
You have to
So I
be, yeah,
don't buy. Yeah, it's an
intentional.
issue of priority because if they can make time for that thing, despite them working 100 hours a week or those things, and they can make time. Honestly, you can make time for what you deem as important.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
So a lot of these things is that the people just feel that when it comes to their spouses, it's not important. It's not. They don't really see
Taking
the
each
need
other
to
for
invest. Or
granted.
yeah, they take each other for granted, and it's sad. It's sad because you are missing out on a lot of things.
Yeah.
You are missing out on very deep connections, deep treasures between the two of you, and the things that both of you can aspire to. Because these things are not just going to come. It's just like as a believer, I walk with God too. If we're not intimate with God, we don't regularly spend time with God, we're going to be missing out. We can have this deep service attitude with God, but you're not going to really have great victory or true endurance
Yeah.
because you don't know him. So there are certain things now that we share, and I don't know if I can even say it on this thing, but my,
We
my wife
understand.
will tell me, "Oh, I like how this guy dressed," and it's not a problem to me. I don't have a problem because I know where she's coming from. I
Yeah.
know her, and vice versa.
And it's not going
You
to
know,
bring a topic
and
and
it's not
a conflict.
at all. If
Ah.
I don't know,
Some people dare not say that. I mean, maybe you're at the gathering
yeah.
or something and just say, check that. You just say like, that guy is not bad. Eh? Hey,
My
taboo.
wife and I we joke about certain things
Wow.
that in fact sometimes we'll be saying that hey, some people we'll be laughing and saying that hey, some people if they hell they'll be thinking that we are doing open marriage. But we're not because we've learned to have fun. We've learned to have fun with each other. But it depends on whether you have invested that time with that person. It depends.
Yeah.
And also with finances as well. Finances. I think
It's
the taboo of
another
finances is
taboo.
because it's people don't sit down and talk about it. If they just talked about their finances regularly, I'm telling you, they won't know when they were planning to buy this property, plan to do this venture, do X, Y, and Z. They won't know when they will be doing those things because it starts from communication
Yeah.
and recognizing where are you now and where do you want to go. It's so important. It's so important. It's very important. But again, I think people when they make it up, I think it's an issue of control. That's my bottom. That's what I feel. I think that at some point you have to become transparent with each other. You have to be transparent with one another's issues, this thing because you only have each other at the end of the day. And I feel that it actually models to the children inadvertently that you guys can weather any storm. You can weather any storm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it there. I hope it helps people, but the taboos in mind I think are just control. The issue of control is a system of belief really rooted in
Control,
control.
manipulation. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want Mrs. should never have known anybody but you have known 10 people before her. Come on now. And there are people like there were people of the same of your Mrs. gender. So what did they tell their partners to be when it happens? I just think there's a lot of this one-sided thinking, and I don't know where it's coming from, but it's not God.
No. That's
It's not God, though.
For husband and wife, no.
It's not God.
Thank you so much. It's just amazing that these taboos we're talking about. I mean, I don't have the statistics, but you find out that is a bit gender biased. If I can say that, because there's certain things. I don't know if you guys remember, was it last year or a couple of years ago in Nigeria, this outbreak of DNAs, all these children being DNA'd, they found out that their fathers were not their fathers. It was a big thing at some point in Nigeria, and he now saw I don't know whatever the statistics, but they found out that most women's children were not really from their husbands. And this was so alarming because men thought they were the one having their feel. They are the ones having side chick who is having baby mamas and enjoying and all of that. And all of a sudden, I don't know, there was a news out where this man found out that maybe 3 children or how many of them were not his, and he believed they were his, and these children are grown a bit. And it led to the death of the woman, kind of. And everybody started going to DNA test their children to see whether they were the true fathers or not. As crazy as that was, sometimes, there was time I was thinking about, I'm like, so what went wrong? What actually went wrong in those marriages? Because even the people that thought they trusted their spouse or their wives, let me just be outright with it, they even doubted a bit, like, if this person could be. Some of them secretly went to test their children to see whether they are, their biological fathers. And some found out that some were their biological children, some were not. But the thing from the wife is that all of these children, they are yours. So these things, men feel, they're the ones that are supposed to have many wives. I mean, have you heard of one woman marrying many husbands at the same time? Is a taboo. But the other way around, it's all right, it's okay. But when you now see a crazy woman who would dare some men and do some crazy things, the world will say, no, this one is fire, this one is crazy, this one is that. So what am I trying to say is, the moment you're in that marriage relationship with your spouse, I remembered, I'm sure I've shared with my husband, in fact, probably will be able to tell you the breakups that I had before I met him. And he's told me the ones from him as well. I mean, you never can know, who knows whether, at least we didn't break up, we ended up getting married. He thought of that in his past relationship. I thought of that in my own previous relationship. But as life would have it, we didn't end up getting married. And that's why I said to myself, as a young woman then, it was God that set me straight. Like, this body belongs to my husband as God has said in his word. And at that time, in fact, thinking out loud now, I never thought I was going to marry a virgin as a husband. In fact, it never crossed my mind. Coming from Africa, I mean, where do you want to get that? But these things, it's there. We don't talk about it. Men are looking for virgins to marry as wives. Why can't the women to look for virgin husbands? It's like a taboo thing. You dare not say. What do you mean? A man. Why not? If you want a virgin as a wife, why can't I also demand to want a virgin as a husband? So these things are not balanced. And then we live life, we'll carry into marriage and want to live life like that. No. Now you have the bone of your bone, the flesh of your flesh. You should be able to say anything and everything to them. Of course, some are hardcore truth. Your spouse may not even want to hear or can't handle at that time. But it doesn't mean it's not existing in your marriage. For example, it could be the other room, the intercourse bit, that one party is having issues, but because you dare not talk, they say, this one is carry go or whatever. I don't want to use a derogatory word and all of that, but you know what I mean. A woman dare not say she's not satisfied is a taboo, or a woman dare not say she likes it this way or she doesn't want it that way, or what is a taboo. Yet the man can do rough, do this, do that. Why? Who says? As long as it's the two of you, you should be able to communicate even whilst in the other room, to talk about how everybody will be happy. Don't just say,
Hostess,
as long as my husband is satisfied, hey, it's okay. No. Yes, sir.
hostess. In that DNA thing, I remember when that whole thing started. You know, I'm laughing because I've heard that saying. I've heard that saying. Somebody said, "We never reap in the season we are sowing." The reason why I'm saying that is in Niger, especially our Niger, and I thank God I use my dad. I love my father, but my father is my life lesson because when men are doing their thing, they think it's yes. They think, oh, I can sleep with as many women, and we don't know that we are inadvertently setting a course, whether we like it or not. So now, the next generation, the women too are going to develop some sort of resistance or some sort of, well, it's not only them that can do, me too, I can do. And,
I remember something when you were talking before. Hopefully, I won't forget. So I'll let you finish.
Go ahead, no, go ahead.
No,
People
finish.
forget it's so they me too I can do, and especially that we now have women are having access to education standard. You go to university standard, you're opening to a new world. So the dynamics change, and so now you're finding out that they too are also forming connection and relationships, not like guys, but they are doing the same. So it's funny that the reason I say because my dad, this is when we were young. Till today, the nanny, British nanny that was our nanny, we all knew he had an affair with her, and not once. And later on, apparently when she went to go and get married, to today they don't know whether the child that she had, obviously they said it wasn't from the person she married. But we on our own are thinking, it's our dad.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, it's our, and we know and he was, that's what he did. That's what he did. So when we are seeing certain things play out, why are we surprised that there's a generation where okay, the women too are going to now become unfaithful? Because if we as the men, quote unquote, are in the leadership position, and that is what we're using our leadership position to do, and that is to be unfaithful, why do we think it just stops with us? Why do we think it just that seed? I've sown that seed, but I will not. The harvest will not come. Life is sowing and reaping, but you're not 9 times out of 10. You're not going to reap in the same season you are sowing, and I think that's the problem. And so when we see the fact that it happened a lot in Nigeria, I think that's what really did people like a number. But why are they shocked? Why are they surprised? A lot of I remember when I was I remember when I was a primary school student, and I remember my uncles. This was when they were like a lot of them were in university, and they was sharing stories of how they would get a girl pregnant at uni, and they would tell her, "Oh, get rid of the kid."
Wow.
I heard that so much. I remember that it was common. So by the time I got to uni, it wasn't a big deal for a lot of my peers. It wasn't some like wow this. So we need to be careful that what one generation starts and thinks, oh, they can
ends
do
with
it,
them.
and it doesn't. No, because by the time another generation comes up, it's become normalized. So we keep thinking that this thing started. No, it started long before. It's just that it was covered. That's the difference. It was hidden,
Yeah.
but it happened. And this is why I keep saying that a lot of these taboos is really sometimes to protect some people's insecurity. It's really to protect some people's insecurity. Like I said, when we had this book, this 365 question, that question of talk about your exes, and they gave us the structure of how to go about it. I think that was one question for the day, but it took 3 days. It took 3 days to play out.
I didn't go beyond that. Very interesting.
But it was. I think it was a very healthy thing for us. It was almost like I can say a cathartic experience that now this is out now. this will not, this is not a hold on any of us now. Hey, we can talk. Sometimes and it's till up to now, she might even remember something, I to remember something. And it's nothing that anybody is going to feel, no. But it takes time. And again, I just think that a lot of these taboos is really insecurity playing out. So when we are hearing of that day, I remember, but I was like, why the surprise? I was a kid in the 80s, and I was hearing guys doing a lot of stuff about telling the girlfriends at the time, get rid of the baby, get rid of the baby. And a lot of those people later on in the 90s were struggling to have children.
Yeah.
So again, this idea that there's no correlation from one event to the next, and then the same people are now saying, they want respect. I want respect. I'm like, bro, the disrespect was sown by you.
Way too much. You laid the foundation and built on it.
And now you are upset that the person is not respecting the ground you walk on. I'll just end with this. I'll end with this. There was a guy, his wife had traveled, he was at home, they were very well to do, very, very well to do. And he was feeling kind of, I'm bored. So he decided to have an affair with the house girl. Then the house girl started calling him by name. And he called his friend and said, can you manage this house girl? She's calling by name. And the friend said, why are you surprised? You are sleeping with her. Of course she's going to call you by name. And he was genuinely upset. And I'm thinking, look at the audacity. What were you expecting? What were you expecting? Really? So
I know.
Exactly. How can she be calling me by name? I'm thinking, but you won't decide to enter the poor girl and disturb her. Now she's calling you by name and addressing you because you'll be intimate with her in that kind of way. You might not like it, but that's just what you've done.
I know.
So I just think that some of these taboos is really protecting insecurities, as I think that's ultimately that's in marriage. We should be free to be able to share. And if a wife does not feel secure enough to share her heart in the marriage, I think there's a problem. Because ultimately you're going to be in this thing for a long time, unless you don't plan to be in it for a long time more. And there's other things. But if you're going to be in this in a long time, we should get to a point where we are able to share our heart and our struggles and our issues and still feel secure about doing that and knowing that, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. And it should not take away anything from each other in that moment. It's not easy, I'm going to say, but I feel if you do it, you are stronger for it. That vulnerability actually becomes a great strength. So thank you.
Thank you. What came to mind that went, and now I came back when you were speaking again. I went to a barbecue last year, and there were people, my friends, way back secondary school. She was doing her 40, whatever. Anyway, so we were there, and people got talking, and then we got talking about TikTok. And this person said, "Oh, you have a presence on TikTok." I said, "Well, I'm just trying to build and all of that." And then he said, "Oh, you two, you're talking about relationship." I said, pause. What is it about relationship? He said somebody recently broke his heart, and it happens to be the third girl. Now he's done with relationship. He done what he was just. I said, let him finish. I laughed. So I started asking questions, and just about that same week or so, I bumped into a life where young guys, in their 30s, 40s, I don't know I can't even remember. They too gathered, were gathered on Insight, and they were talking about relationship. These girls, they just feel they're too much, especially in UK now. These girls, they feel they have rights, they feel this, and they were just talking all sorts. And I'm like, hey, something has gone wrong here. And then I had to think deeply. I'm like, Holy Spirit, you have to help me address something here. Because I was on the FY for a long time listening. And then from all that they were saying, I said, my God, there was so much self-centeredness in there. But it took me way back to their fathers, my father as well. Because if you picture this now, Leslie, just like at least yours. I mean, you're not in denial of it. And it's a brave thing. Thank you for sharing your story. Our fathers, we saw what they did to our mothers. And our mothers kept quiet. We saw our mothers suffering in silence. They took on all of those nonsense, so to say. And the fathers thought they got away with it because they were the man. And then the children were seeing this, like, if dad is treating mom like this and is getting away with it, bam, when I have girlfriends, I'm going to treat her like that. And those were the male child seeing that. From the female child perspective, they're looking at, why is mom taking all this nonsense from dad, even though they know it's their dad? She's too soft, she's too this. If it's me, I won't take this nonsense. In fact, when I grow up, those men, I will show them. But those men are not your father. So they've grown now with that mindset. The men, the guys have grown up that I can have side chick, I can do this and get away with it. And the girls grew up with the mindset that I will not take this rubbish from anybody. Everybody thinking in that mindset, in their own mindset, now I've grown. They're not in a relationship. One mistake from one guy, get out of my house. I don't need you. You know, this woman will make sure she's hardworking, she can fend for herself. So one man would not come and be treating her the way they treated her mother. She was ready. But this innocent man is not your father. And then this innocent man, so to say, who grew up seeing the dad live that life and getting away with it, feels now, why is this girl not accepting the fact that I'm a man, I can do this, I can do that? It's the norm kind of a thing. But this girl too is saying, I'm not taking this nonsense. And they now feel they can't control these girls of nowadays. Their own is too much. Da, 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 da. But everybody's coming with their baggages from their childhood days, from how they grew, how they saw their dad treats their mom, how mom take nonsense, how mom did that, and all of that. And now this is another generation. Their mindset is wrong. The foundation of their mindset is wrong. And genuinely, you even find a man who is emotional, who is empathetic, who will say, my God, when I grow up, I will never treat my wife the way my dad is treating my mom. And then a girl child in the right mindset will say, wow, mom has endured a lot. But dad, you know, she will think in a positive way. And when they grow up, they're like, I can't wait to have a relationship. I want to do it right because dad didn't get it right. I want to do it right. And guess what? They will not end up with this woman who is ready to not take nonsense, who is ready to squeeze their neck out of it. So one slight wrong move from this good guy, they will show the guy pepper, because they're coming with this bitterness. They're coming with this heartache for their moms, and they think they're fighting their mom's battle. And unknown to them, they will lose the good guy in the process. So this whole thing is like from one generation to another. Where does it end? Where really does this end? All these taboos, don't do this, accept this, don't do that. For the woman, do this, don't do that. You know, all of these things. And you find out that people, if our mothers could open their mouth to tell us that, I truly enjoyed my marriage, or what happened, I don't think it would be a taboo for them to tell us the real truth. But we know what we saw. So you can imagine all these taboos. I don't think it helped them. I wouldn't want to bring that into my relationship, because definitely I know it won't help me. Rather, it might even make mine worse than their own. So it takes intentionality, it takes grace of God for us to change that narrative so that we don't carry on the same way. And then we'll do that, pass it on to the next generation. In fact, by my own third generation, maybe marriage will not even exist anymore. Who knows? Who knows? So this taboo, we need to break it down. Whether topics are uncomfortable, whether they are hard, whether they are deep, as long as your marriage will suffer, talk about it with your spouse. With your spouse. The first time it will be so hard. Try again another time. Try again another time until it becomes a thing you can easily approach together. Is it hard? Is it going to be tough? Of course. Some people will bring this big conflict from a very small taboo, so to say, and then it will escalate into. So get help if you must. You know your spouse better than anybody, and you know yourself, the way you will react. So you have to help each other break this taboo so that you can actually enjoy your marriage in openness, in honesty, in understanding, in love, in trust. God will help us. Elder Debbie, I see you. Good evening. How are you? You are welcome.
Good evening, my lady. Good evening,
How was
everyone.
it? I hope you are still not at work. Oh, okay. The book is called 365 Connecting Questions for Couples. Okay, let me put it here so I don't want to lose it. Good evening, ma'am. Sorry, we got hooked with the discussion. I
No, it's
saw
fine.
you.
Me, I'm learning today. I heard Mr. Leslie share his experience, and I'm laughing here.
In fact, God will help this generation. Oh. In fact, every generation self, our forefathers, the good and the bad and the ugly, they left us that we are so lost. God will help us really to unlearn a lot of things.
We need to help ourselves too.
Well, yes, so part of it too. So, Elder Debbie, we're talking about taboos in marriage. I know you say but I know by the time you start talking now, everybody will
What is
start
taboo?
taking notes. Let me see for couples. Okay. You say what?
What do you mean by taboo in marriage?
Where do I begin from? Maybe I'll let Elder Leslie explain or Mr. Kenneth. So, taboos are those hard, uncomfortable talks that you dare not talk about. Infidelity in marriage, don't talk about it. Oh, don't talk about it. Money problems, you don't talk about it. Men being vulnerable to their wives, he has to be strong. It's a taboo. You dare not voice to your wife you're struggling mentally or something like that. You know, all those myths, so to say, that they've brought into marriage, you can't talk about it, is a taboo, and yet there's suffering in that marriage. So my question at the end of my talk is, do you believe that avoiding uncomfortable topics in marriage protects that marriage, or it harms the relationship?
Based on my little knowledge, that we start. If as a boyfriend and girlfriend, uncomfortable conversation cannot be had, then we cannot have it in marriage. So you should already know. So it's how we start. I know, I get what you're saying about this, all this taboo thing. Your husband cheats, don't leave him, or be praying for him. The wife do this.
Yeah.
I believe when it comes to marriage, everybody's marriage is unique to them. It should be you. It's your ministry. That it should be you and your spouse in that journey.
Yeah.
But maybe our culture has made it like this is how it's supposed to go. This is how it's done. This is how it's done. They don't do that. Women, as a woman, you are not. As a man, you are not supposed to. Sometimes, what they say you are not supposed to is actually what your marriage needs to work.
Exactly.
Sometimes, in fact, in most cases, that thing they say you are not supposed to do this and that is actually what your marriage needs to work. It's what your marriage needs to work. So for me, I think there are as long as the uncomfortable conversation is coming from a place of we are making it work,
Okay.
I don't think it should be a problem.
To talk about, yeah.
Truth will always be uncomfortable, no matter how
The
much we
truth,
want,
the truth is bitter, as they say.
no matter how you want to marinate it, put sugar, put chocolate, it's still gonna be uncomfortable to take.
Yeah.
So it's how we start the marriage. If from the beginning I can't talk to you as my husband, I have to respect you. When you talk, I have to keep quiet. As you are entering the house, everybody
Shut
have to
up.
be in their corner and keep quiet. Even if I'm sick, your food has to be. Even if I'm dying, your food has to be ready. Even if I'm not okay, I cannot tell you this is the style I want in the other room. I want my leg to be folded to my shoulder. I cannot demand when I want it. He has to.
Yeah.
If that's the case from the beginning,
Manage your problem by yourself.
ah,
And that's
They say I
why
should
they'll
tell the
come
person to
again.
manage their problem.
I
If
don't
they
want
have,
to hear you crying.
if you've accepted it from the beginning. See, I always, I always say
Also,
this thing.
family life.
I always say this thing when it comes to marriage, when it comes to life, it's like a contract. It's unwritten contract that unspoken contracts that you can't even change it anyhow. You can't say this is fine with you because you want to marry in the beginning of the relationship. You now get to 2 years, you are now comfortable, you now meet somebody on the road, you now say no, you can't take this anymore. You are a fraudster. If you have accepted it from that's what I say, if you have, I understand that we grow, we evolve and something like that, that is a different case, but there are some things, there are some fundamental rules that once you break them, to change it will be hard. To change it will be either the marriage breaks or the other person, God have to speak to them, or the other person sit down and be like, okay, this is gonna be good for me. People don't just change because they want to change because of you. Who are you? If it's not benefiting them, either they are couple or not. If it's not gonna benefit them, they will not change for you. So if you are from the beginning, you say, I like my food fresh every day. Me, I know I don't like kitchen. There's nothing you want to see. I know I don't like kitchen, so I can cook my food. 2 weeks later, I've not entered kitchen. I don't feel like entering kitchen. Nothing is pushing me to the kitchen. It's me. Now you now come now. You now say you like your food fresh every day. I know I don't have the capacity. I know it's not my thing. I will tell you from the beginning, oh, Casa, this is let's stop there. Is it because I don't like you? No, it's because I know even if I start it and you marry me, 6 months is too far. My secret will open like fire yansh.
For how long do you want to keep that?
Do you understand? I always say, my friends know me. I don't really like, when I wake up in the morning, I'm not really a morning person. So when I wake up in the morning, that time I woke up, I don't want to talk to anybody. I can be kind of grumpy, but I'm now managed to smile to you. You now come in the morning, you are now, and you know that kind of thing. So if I know from the beginning that this thing is not gonna work with me, the reason a lot of people follow this culture say this one say this is a taboo, this is not supposed to happen, is because they themselves something in, when the Bible, when Paul said is it
Leslie, are you still there? Are you
I
still
think
there?
so.
Okay,
I'm
so
listening.
I'm handing
I'm
over to
hearing.
you. I need to dash off quickly. I'll be back. So Elder, Elder, you'll be Elder for just these few minutes. I'll be back. But I'm
I
hearing
bet,
you
and
anyway.
then we continue. We're enjoying this. Just continue.
When the Bible said the prince of the world come to me, but I found nothing. If there is nothing in you that is looking for that taboo to manifest, you would have set it from the beginning. Because at the end of the day, now you go see suffer am. It's still you that will suffer it. If your husband is maybe the finance in the family, because you don't want to talk, you want to respect him, he's using it anyhow, you cannot advise him because culture say you should not advise him. At the end of the day, now your children go suffer.
Yeah, it's funny, but I don't think people think like that, my sister. I don't think people think like that.
That's why I said, I think the problem is a lot of people when they marry, permit me to say, a lot of people don't even know themselves before they marry. If you know yourself, you know the purpose you have for life, you have a goal for life, you will know that you have to set things right from the beginning. The man is not mad, the woman is not mad. If it's not going to work for them, even if they didn't say it outrightly that, oh, this rule you are placing down is not going to work for me, they will pull back. The reason they choose some people is because you agreed to their terms and conditions. They have somebody they love, that the person is not agreeing to their terms and conditions, the person will not do what they want. That's why they did not go for that. They did not marry the person. Their heart still remain there, but they cannot go. But they now come to marry you. You now say you can do it. But you know that's always what is.
Can I ask you one question? I want to ask you one question.
Okay, sir.
Do you know any taboo yourself that you probably heard when you were growing up that today you think, why is that a taboo now? That you heard when you were growing up in marriage that you thought, why is that a taboo now? Do you know any of do you know any of such?
There is a lot. I'm trying to pin one. By reporting your husband to his family is a taboo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Building
I know that
as
one.
a
Yes.
woman, having more money than your husband is a taboo.
Yes.
Says who?
Do you want more?
I think you fine. Hey.
Do you understand?
Tell us more.
Bring share. Let's hear so we can dissect this.
Do you
taboo.
understand? Having more money than your husband is a taboo.
A woman joining the man's family meeting.
A woman talking when a man is talking is a taboo.
It is.
Should we continue?
There is lots.
Please continue.
A woman.
Let us. These things you're saying, people are actually listening and they're hearing you.
It's a taboo. Giving birth to only female children is a taboo.
Oh yes.
You want more?
Yes, please go ahead.
We want more. Keep going.
A woman cheating because her husband cheated.
It's a taboo. In fact, she getting upset
Because her husband cheated.
is a taboo.
A blessing.
Instead of her to pull him in, hug him, and feed him, it's a taboo. Okay, they said eating gizzard is a taboo. Gizzard belongs to men.
You want like when your husband don't eat it.
It's a taboo.
Lord have mercy.
There's a lot.
This woman life.
Having your own money as a woman and still spending it on yourself is a taboo.
Permission.
Without permission.
So I think, see, when it comes to this taboo thing, to be honest, it's actually majorly for women. I can really count how many taboo that is for men. It's majorly against women.
Encouraging your husband to be better.
You can't even push your husband to be better. It's a taboo.
It's a disrespect.
What do you mean? Is it not man enough?
Exactly. Exactly.
These things we're laughing about is serious, so it's breaking
But
bones.
this thing we are
It's
as
funny
a
because
woman.
we actually said that in the beginning that a lot of these things is really rooted in insecurity
Yeah, control.
and
Did you
control
see-
systems.
did you see
Control.
Did you see the trend on TikTok a few weeks ago about young girls dressing their mothers like them?
Yeah.
Did you see those women they dress, from where they dress them from to what they dress them to?
My God.
Did you see that a lot of women
I've been tabooed.
have been tabooed in?
In fact, there was one I saw. I said, is this the child or the mother?
Hello?
And I'm like, why was they dressed like that? Truly. I'm not saying
Because-
expose your body, but you can be better. But because
They believe that as a married woman, let me put it that way. As a married
somebody
woman,
said,
there
I
are
don't only eat the
dressing
God, I eat the fowl. Oh, family life.
family life. They believe as a married woman there are some dressing you should not. This one you put wig and you even have makeup self is disrespectful.
About business as a married woman.
Yes,
It's a taboo. Taking a job that your salary is more than your husband.
it's a
It's a
taboo.
taboo. Yeah.
It's a lot, and I think it's not even. I
But
think
guys, you guys have to balance it too. All this what you're saying is a woman. So tell us the taboo with the men now.
they don't have any.
They do. Don't be like that.
Which one?
They do.
Oh yeah, give me.
Leslie, you have to bail us out too.
No, that's all. Yeah, give me. Oh yeah, give me.
I'm laughing.
Oh, a man
Because
crying when there is. A man crying when there is problem is a taboo.
Yes, that's
You
true.
say what?
A man crying when there is problem is a taboo.
A man from forgiving his wife for mistakes that he should be manly about.
It's a taboo. A
Oh.
man loving up on the woman.
No, they don't say
No,
that.
not loving up. How there's a way they put it.
The one about the man discipline the wife. We can think about King, the one that married Esther, that sent Vashti out. He was
it's
not
a taboo.
upset. The people came for him.
It was
For
the
him-
people that made him send Banshee out.
Thank you.
It's a taboo, yeah. So
It's
the men have their own, but it's not just as much as the women. But still, I beg. This thing affects lives, you know.
So when we now avoid talking about this so-called taboo, are we protecting the marriage or are we harming
not.
that relationship?
We are not. See, there's a joke my friend made this afternoon. I can't remember what we were talking about, but I said, God forbid, I would rather say it from the beginning that it's not me. And she said, this is why you are still single. It's not because a lot of people that are single now just want to be single for the sake of it. It's because they've sat down, they see how their parents end up in their marriage. They've now developed themselves. They realize that, okay, even if I want a better life, I have to set it straight.
That's what
It doesn't
hostess
mean
said
that-
earlier. That's exactly what
It doesn't
hostess
mean
said
that
earlier.
it doesn't mean that in marriage there won't be hiccups, there won't be ups and downs. That's
Of course.
it's between me and you. But then I don't know. In fact, a man going to his wife's family to go and borrow money is even a problem.
You were talking about the taboo thing because I watched the program earlier today. There was, I don't know, this chef is called Heston. He's quite a popular chef back in the day, really popular, and he had a major mental health breakdown. Literally, his mind. He had, I think he's been he was sexual. He had bipolar, and one of the things he actually. It's funny how, again, one of the taboos you mentioned is not just
Family
only
life,
in
I was trying
Africa.
to bring you up.
Yeah, he one of the things he struggled with that he did not want to be seen as less than. This is a very well-to-do chef, yet he had this struggle that just escalated. Of I have to be the one that carry everything, to the point that his own he in fact I was watching The Son and it literally brought me to tears where they couldn't talk to their father because he has to be seen in the best light. He has to, and this thing affected him. So it's not, it was a mental health crisis. And I think sometimes people think that men, they're human. I think that was basically what's coming out is that it was his wife that actually helped him to get him to hospital because he literally would have unalived himself. He was in that situation where he would have just unalived himself in the throes of that bipolar when he was going through it at the time. So and it was down to him never discussing this thing in his marriage, never telling anyone in the family that this is a problem. This is something I'm dealing with, and it doesn't make you less than. And that's why I when you were saying about that, a man crying, it was part of what he was saying, that for him to say, I'm struggling with this one, never.
They'll say it's not a
And
man.
yet it almost destroyed. Yeah, it almost destroyed his life. He's a famous chef here in the UK, and they were actually showing. They said people did not know that when he was in the height of that thing, he didn't know that he was actually suffering with this thing. But but the outward, everything is going fine. But this guy was suffering, and it was because
he doesn't want
I
to be
cannot
as a-
tell anybody that I have this struggle. I cannot share it, and basically it's a taboo, and it was until he had that breakdown and he was sectioned that he was finally able to say, yes, I'm struggling with this thing. So I think I love what you said about a man crying and sharing this thing. It's not just even Nigeria. I think it's just I think a lot of cultures, and yet a lot of these men are carrying and dealing with very difficult situations that some of their wife could actually help them with that process, could actually help them in that situation. But I got the very
But
good
when he now says it's a taboo not to be talked about, how would they get help? And they're suffering in that marriage, and their spouse too is suffering
My
along
lady,
without even knowing what they're suffering about, you know?
that's because they can't be, as a man, you cannot be seen as a failure.
So it's a woman that can be a failure. I
They
don't,
don't
I'm trying
see
to
this thing we are
understand.
this topic today. It sounds funny, but it's something that has ruined a lot of people's life.
From one generation to another, even.
Yeah, it's a lot.
God will help us. So, Susan, let's hear from you. Good evening. How are you today, Susan? You're welcome. Thank you for your contribution. Now that's too. That's for you. Hey, Father, liberate us. Oh. Good evening, Susan. How are
Good
you?
evening. I've been enjoying Adasa and Debbie. Hey,
In fact, I don't even know whether to laugh or cry or whatever. It is well.
but to be frank, all those taboo has really destroyed a lot of marriages.
Yeah.
It has really, if not just marriage, men as a whole. Men don't cry. Come on, close your mouth. You're a man. Eh? All those things. I'm like, so are you not human being if you're a man? So you can't cry. All those things. Oh, you cannot be a failure. You have to make money before you marry. All it has made our men now, most of them are old, they don't even have
Feel
family,
inadequate.
so lonely because they want to make all the money. My father said, my father said, and your father is no longer here. You're still living on what my father said. You know, this our African mentality. I think the only way to break it is we the mothers now, we should be able to teach our men, our boys, what is right. You know, you like me, I tell my son, cry. If you want to cry, cry. You know, when he
Wonder.
lost his dad, they say, oh, don't tell him, don't tell him. I say, what do you mean? I'll tell him. And then when he started throwing tantrums, I said, cry, it's good. He will heal quickly.
I'm telling
And
you, honestly.
and I don't know why we just say, oh, don't cry. Why? That's don't cry business. Do you know a lot of men
High blood
that are
pressure.
in the
Yes.
hospital today because of this don't cry? Just this don't cry can cause a lot of havoc because you see them sitting down just shaking their head. Some is their
Depression.
legs. And when they open their mouth and talk, you're like, you are carrying all these things in your mind. You know, it's so unfortunate. But I just believe that God will help us
Amen.
because it's really the men, like my logo is men that talk,
Yeah.
they heal.
Suppressed emotions.
My when I write my email, I just put men who talk heal. If you don't talk, you're not gonna be healed. And you go to the hospital, you see lots of them carrying, even the women, some women. I have one of my patients, she's Pakistani. I mean, they first had this their arranged marriage,
Yeah.
and she married her first cousin. She went through domestic violence. She doesn't talk. And I tell them, I say, you see this one, the day she will kill herself, nobody will believe it. Because she has a lot in her mind.
Bottled up.
And that is what is happening to our men. They have so much. I'll share you a personal story. My late husband, I do know that when he told me he was ill was when they told him that his kidney was just 15%.
Wow.
So they've told him all this while. He
Wow.
didn't tell me. I only knew when it was 15%. I'm like, eh? Where do we go from here? 15%.
My goodness.
So when it was going down, why did you say? You want to be a man. See where your manhood reach now. Eh? And even God rest his soul, he knew he was dying, but he didn't tell me.
Wow.
Sometimes you just be throwing words. I've kept some money. This little that I've kept, just give it to my son. Tell him. I said, where are you going to? I didn't have a clue.
Wow.
I did not know this taboo of a thing killed him. Just wasted him for no reason. Because if he had spoken, if he had stopped, maybe solution, prayers, and other things, medical help would have come. But it was just too late. He left everything too late. Me, I was busy believing God for something else. I didn't know he was battling another thing. So it's really, really tough. And we, the women, we are on the receiving side. We suffer a lot. Don't tell anyone, no, don't tell anyone what you're going through in marriage. I was like that. I was like, it go better. This slang, it go better. It did not better, nothing. It nothing till he passed.
Wow.
So I just urge us to teach our boys and even the ladies the right thing. I rest my case.
Thank you. You can imagine, we're talking of divorce, the D word. Now even see death, the D word. Suffering in silence. Sometimes, in fact, if you, I don't know, I think one of my pastors used to say, if you go to the graveyard, you will see potentials there, untapped, undiscovered, because of certain taboos. You dare not say this. A man wants to be a fashion designer, or we're even breaking into that world now, so to say. But back then there's certain things that it's a taboo. A man dare not go near, or is a taboo. A woman dare not go near, and things like that. And lives have been ruined. Now marriages have been ruined. People facing separation, unnecessary conflict, just because of these so-called taboos. Who created them? Why have we brought them in? Is it helping our marriages? If not, what are we doing with them still? And we're accepting it. Are we passing it on to our children as well? You to carry on. It was a torch lit by my great-grandfather. Gave it to my grandfather. My grandfather gave it to my father. My father has given to me. Now I'm giving to my children. You to give to... No. There's certain good aspect of the culture that I will always support and pass to the next generation. But a majority, honestly, I don't know how certain things became normal. Yet people are suffering in it and nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to address it. And then everybody's clamoring for a change. And I think our mindset has a lot of unlearning to do. A lot of unlearning, especially of all these taboos, all the negatives from our forefathers, our culture, the society, because it's not helping. And the moment a family breaks, a home breaks, the community breaks, the society breaks, the world will break. Who is going to mend it? So let's go back to we, husband and wife, children, the family unit. If the family unit can come out strong and overcome all these taboos we're talking about, they will come out strong. And then, of course, you have a strong community, a strong society, a strong world. But you and I know that this family is trying to be strong, this one is scattering, that one, it's just all over the place. But then we will not stop talking about it. And that's why I always say I dare us here on Inside to talk about these uncomfortable topics, hard topics, vulnerable topics that is breaking up our marriages. We need to talk about it. And apart from talking about it here on Inside, whoever is listening, if you're married, we need to sit down and reflect where we're at in our marriages. Are things where we really want them to be? Don't be assuming things in your mind. You have to say something out to your spouse. Maybe today we're giving ourselves that courage, that boldness. Will they hear you? For me, you don't know the person I'm married to. He doesn't want to hear anything mushy, mishy emotion. We will start from somewhere. I'm going to try and post this live so that maybe you send it to them, let them watch it and try to understand where you're coming from. Because we can't be suffering in silence. That is not God's plan for marriage. And my prayer is that God will give us wisdom. God will give us understanding to know that we don't cage ourselves with certain norms in the society, especially the negative ones. Otherwise, we will be the one to suffer for it. I don't know if Elder Kenneth, I don't know why I'm calling everybody Elder now. If you want to add one or two, because honestly, I think we've done justice to it. People have shared their life experiences. We've shared some people's that we know. But the bottom line is now we have to be intentional about addressing certain uncomfortable topics in our marriages. Nobody will come and address it for us. We have to, so that we can see that change and enjoy our relationships.
I think the church as well should be able to help with this. It's not every time they preach about prosperity.
All the
They should be
time.
able to touch families,
Yeah.
because there are a lot of people, there are a lot of families that just break in for no reason. They should inculcate that into their preaching, or probably do like a marriage seminar. We used to do all those things back in
Couples
Nigeria.
retreats.
Yes, you just go out, have time. There's some family, they don't even go out. But if a church is organizing such, or a group of people
Yeah.
organizing such, you see people, they will want to like attend. They should be able. It's not every time prosperity and all that. They should hit the family aspect of life as well.
That's true. Thank you for adding that. The church, because it's the church place, to look after the society, the community, the family, most especially as well. Whether the people come to church or not, we're responsible for our community as a church. My prayer is that God will help us to focus on these things, because the moment family breaks, it's hard work. Hard work bringing families back to is always very hard to bring families back together. So whilst they're still in that uncomfortableness, if there's any word like that, let us try to deal with things. Marriage, we talked about it here, is not a bed of roses. It has thorns, but we can still see the beautiful roses. But if we leave things untouched, unsaid, unaddressed, you find out there's only thorns you just be seeing, and that doesn't look beautiful. My prayer is that God will help all of us. All these unnecessary taboos, suffering needlessly, countless times. It's unnecessary. You sit down and evaluate your relationship right now. If you're in one, or if you're married, evaluate it. What are the taboos? What is it that you and I can't talk about? Let us talk about it. Dare yourself to talk about it as husband and wife, and don't let anything put you in bondage. Christ has come to die for us so that we set free. Why are we allowing taboos, to come and put us in bondage again? Life is hard, no doubt about it. Things can get tough. Some things will be like, if you say it out, hey, the earth will crash or something. But at the end of the day, you find out that there's a saying where I come from, we've not heard this type of a thing before, we're just deceiving ourselves. People from God knows when have gone through things, and it's repeating itself in history. It still keeps on repeating itself until somebody will stop and say, no, enough is enough. This thing, I don't want it to repeat itself in my own marriage. And then you can't just not do anything about it. Sometimes you may have to address it so that we are both on the same page as husband and wife, and know that this thing, it stops here. From today on, we're going to dare ourselves and talk about these things, because it's affecting us. If it's the other room matter, sit in the other room and talk about it, whatever it is, and be understanding. Like I said, you have to learn to listen to understand. Don't listen to judge. Because sometimes I know the reason why maybe we find certain taboo, we hide behind it, is by the time you open up, you're becoming vulnerable to your spouse, sometimes, I don't know what goes on in our mind, we take advantage of that. Or maybe sometimes to come, not start addressing, you started again. That was how you were so vulnerable. Start reminding them, and it's not a good thing. So if you say this is your personal person for life, look out for them. Look after them. Look after one another. Let nothing be heavy in your mouth to open up to your spouse to talk about. Okay. I see you there. Sandra, you're welcome. I hope you are good. Happy Thursday to you. There's a whole lot, really. There's a whole lot. But I just want us to leave this platform tonight reflecting on these things. Reflect on your parents' relationship. What are those taboos that you saw? Because some of it we saw, we were not looking for it, but we saw it and we ignored it. And now we're in our own marriage relationship. Somehow they've crept in. Sometimes you do something and you remember your mother. Say, I just said to myself, I will not take this nonsense or whatever it is. And then don't go be fighting your husband or your wife, but look at the best way to handling it such that everybody understand that no, this taboo thing, it's a no-no in this house. It's a no-no where you're concerned. It's a no-no where I'm concerned. We have to be open and honest in our conversations with one another. Otherwise, anything hidden, this thing's hidden. One day the breeze will blow, it will come out. And when it does come out in certain ways, it even hurts the more. If it's something you need to tell your spouse as you are, think about it. How best can you table this such that even when they get angry or whatever, it's not going to be the end of your marriage. Rather, you manage to turn things around to help you guys connect some more. Connection comes when there is conversation, open, honest conversation, listening actively to one another, not judging. Nobody is perfect. No wife is perfect. No husband is perfect. But together, trying to build that home, there might just be some sort of perfection. And mind you, the next generation, they are watching. No matter how young your children are now, no matter how old they are watching. And unknown to you, you're passing some sort of baton to them. Whether it's from the old you're passing to them, or from the refined ones you're passing to them, just know that you're passing something to the next generation, whether it be loud or subtle. But do that positively. Sometimes I've sat my boys down to say certain things to them from where I am coming from, where I am at now. And I say, these things you can't do because the girls of today, they will not accept that. They will not, and they will laugh. I say, well, it's good to laugh, but at least you heard me. Certain things our mother accepted, certain things we know we will never accept. And definitely we would encourage our daughters, our sons, not to accept that because it's a no-no. It's not good for their mental well-being, and it's not even good for their body, their soul, or their spirit either. So we need to be mindful. When we talk about these things, we're not just talking about ourselves, we're talking about the next generation as well. Because one day we would leave and they will be the one there. And it's whatever we've poured onto them, they're going to expand. If it's the goodness, more goodness. If it's the other one, you get more of the other one, so to say. So I don't know if anybody wants to say one or two before we round up for tonight, honestly. I know it's been a long day for all of us. And honestly, I feel energized by you guys showing up every Mondays and Thursdays. It's a blessing to me, and I'll always say this, and I really appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by again today. So I don't know if anybody has anything to say. Otherwise, honestly, we can call it a night. A lot has been said. I've learned a lot myself. I love to go back and reflect. Leslie said this, Debbie said this. My goodness, I never saw it that way. I reflect on things and I'm like, wow, I've learned. And I love to share this, anytime I'm called upon to share topics like this or talks like this. So I don't know if anyone wants to say something, or we just call it a night. Thank you all so much for your contribution. It's been very impactful tonight, honestly. And my prayer is that God will help us to do better, those in the marriages and those who are aspiring to get married. The Lord will help you find a bone of your bone, a friend you can open up to and talk to about anything and everything. No matter how hard, no matter how uncomfortable, you'll find a friend in your spouse, and you can build together the kind of home you really want to enjoy in. So, anybody? Otherwise, gone. Mr. Kenneth, I don't know, do you want to say anything before we go tonight again? Because he spoke first today. Mr. Kenneth, I hope you're not asleep. Oh. But all the same, yeah, let me not put him on the spot because he said a lot today. Today was the most he talked. I said to him, he said, oh, because he was at work the other days, but today he's off work. Probably has sleep because he came back this morning as well. So thank you all so much. I appreciate everyone. Leslie, you want to say something?
Yes. I'm glad that we've shared a lot of these things, and I just want to just share something with you. In that 365 book, one of the things is that they give the guidelines of how to discuss sensitive topics.
Okay.
But according to them, it needs to be discussed. But they give guidelines. It's very important. It's part of what they call conflict resolution in marriage. It's very important to know
I thought you were going to say they need a third party, like a therapist or some.
Oh no! For that, for the book, for the questions, because they go through all sorts of questions, including past relationships, money, your dream holiday, your dream house, all those things. They deal with both real and things you are looking forward to, or things that you want to deal with. They deal with all those questions, cover everything. And then they have like subsections to the questions, So but they actually give structured, they give structured guidelines of how to discuss sensitive topics, because they are marriage counselors, so they know that some couple have, so everybody have their level of insecurity they need to deal with. So they do give guidelines of how to deal, because the idea is that it's meant to help couple to discuss between themselves and to develop the habit of talking about any and everything, So that's why I say that that really there shouldn't be any taboo in a marriage. I think from the very beginning, God's idea of marriage, the Bible said that both the man and wife were naked, and they did not know they were. In other words, there should be full transparency to the point that we are not embarrassed in each other's presence. We should not be embarrassed, even in our flawed human state. We are all flawed, so we by the grace of God, we are who we are by the grace of God, and we should be able to share sensitive topics. One more thing, one of the taboos in marriage is if the wife says that she's not getting satisfaction. I think today, especially today, we have so much information and places, medical clinics to help with this thing, because sometimes some men might not know that there's something else medically going on. And I've had the privilege of hearing a testimony where the husband did go and get checked out, and they found out that he had a very low something about his testosterone, which affected the sperm count, and they were able to help him to deal with it. And the rest is history. But it was because they had to go there. Because the normal thing is that it's the wife, but this wife was like, I want it, the man ain't giving it. And they went to go and get help. And there's a lot of things that one of the reasons why I feel that the taboo thing is a problem is that what is hidden often becomes powerful. But once you get clarity on it, you actually get information of how to deal with that thing, and it's no longer a stronghold. So the sooner people deal with issues in marriage, the better they are for it. I hear that the truth is bitter, but I think there's a scripture that says that when that after eating the truth, it actually gets better.
The truth and it set you free. So
the truth makes you free, so it should make you better. Initially when you're dealing with it, because it's a painful thing, but the goal is that you should become better. You should become better. And I believe strongly, I don't believe I'm the only one, you can have a good marriage by intention. You can, you can. It's going to take some work, please don't, but you can have a good
Hard
marriage.
work,
You can.
maturity, growth.
I will leave it there for those who are willing to listen.
Thank you.
But you can, and don't have taboo in marriage.
I think I would end with this real life scenarios of taboos being overcome. Is just to set our mind on a positive tangent and think more about how to overcome whatever taboo might be in your marriages or that you're struggling with, whether as a man or as a woman, really. There were 3 real life scenarios that I mentioned when I was giving my talk. Just something for us to ponder about, because sometimes you won't know that just sitting down for 2 minutes and talking about something can actually shift something huge for a family. So the first one is a couple afraid to discuss infertility eventually opened up and discovered options they never considered. It brought them closer. This one was thinking his own, this one was thinking their own. But to sit down and talk is like, a taboo is infertility. We've been married 5 years. We dare not talk. We don't want to jinx it. It's a taboo. Don't. But then they sat down and discovered options they never even considered, because two heads are better than one, as they say. Another scenario, a husband hiding debt finally confessed. It led to a rough, very rough conversation, but they made a financial plan together and saved their marriage. Then the third scenario is a wife feeling emotionally unfulfilled voices her needs, leading to renewed connection and understanding in that marriage. Sometimes we allow this taboo, we think we're hiding under it, but we allow it to bring fear of the things that we're supposed to even be enjoying in our marriages. So that's why I said we need to reflect in our own marriages. What are those taboo things? Dear each other and sit and talk about it. After hearing this, the best way, I think I talked about how to, make such conversation, and the book Leslie is talking about, I will also recommend it because the few bits he's giving us the tips. It sounds like a good book. I like practical stuff, not just when you talk, you pray. Be practical as well, so that you can see the result of what you're doing, what you're praying about. Prayer without works is dead, or prayer without faith is dead. So we need it takes a lot of maturity. If you're not mature and you feel in that marriage, you will be mature whether you like it or not. You will grow. That marriage will grow you whether you like it or not. As long as you've committed yourself to that person and they've also committed to you, it's on both of you to make sure that you enjoy that marriage. Do the needful so that you can enjoy the goodness of marriage as God intended. Of course, it's going to require hard work. Like Leslie said, intentionality, love, patience, tolerance, compromise, understanding, empathy, sympathy, all of those things you can think of. It is required and it takes a lot. But your focus should be, this marriage, we will enjoy it to the fullest, and we're going to do whatever it takes, positively to make it work. On that note, I will say thank you all so much for your contributions. Thank you for the tappings, the gifts. Wow, in fact, our tapping is top notch. Thank you so much for all the heart meals and the gifts. Thank you. I really, really appreciate every single one of you. I pray that the Lord will continue to help us in our marriages, give us wisdom, give us understanding, the knowledge, the know-how to work with our spouses, so that we can enjoy our marriages to the fullest. Yes. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Kenneth. A13, gracias. Thank you. Elder Debbie, thank you so much for your contribution. Adassa, I'm shouting Adassa. Thank you so much. God bless you. Susan, thank you for those real life experiences shared, as well as Leslie. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate this community. And we'll be back again on Monday by the grace of God. We'll talk about topics relating to individuals, how we can find strategies to coping with whatever it is, and talk about things. It's always good to talk. about things, and be mindful where you're talking as well, because it goes a long way. Some people have shared their so-called taboo with the wrong people, and instead of bringing those couples together, it actually, pulled them apart. So we have to be mindful at that. That's why I always would recommend a professional counselor. I mean, that is what they do. So they will keep your confidentiality confidential and all of those things that you need. Because when you fall out with a friend, with a family member, or whoever, I mean, even if you fall out with your therapist, they have other clients, so it won't just be only you, and it has no impact on you as such. So, but a family member, if you fall out from them, they might go and tell your taboo to whoever and all of that. So you want to avoid that. Seek professional help. And there's no weakness in that. Actually, it's strength, because you want the best for your home. So the Lord will continue to grace us with wisdom, like I said, and keep us till we meet again on Monday, 8 p.m. UK time, by the grace of God. Thank you all so much. Have a lovely night rest. God bless you. Thank you all. Thank you. Good night, everybody. Enjoy the weekend. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you. 8:13. Thank you. Good evening and bye. Elder Ajayi-Daniels, you're just coming. Where have you been? Minister Sarah, oh my goodness. Everybody's just coming now. But thank you. Elder Debbie, why didn't you look for Elder Ajayi-Daniels before I go?
I just try to maintain my stand.
Your which stand? You both are standing on the elder stand.
No, you people say I should forget about the cake matter, so that it won't be like, so that if I ask about him, it won't be like it's because of cake.
You're still mentioning this cake.
I'm not mentioning it. I'm just
Sarah,
telling you.
please, we're just going to banter now.
I'm just telling you.
Empower her. I see you. Thank you so much. Family life. I see you.
My one and only sister.
That?
What did he say?
He's only greeting me.
I greet you, Sister Debbie.
I greet you, sir.
You say I greet you, brother Adegbin.
Should I not greet you?
I greet you very well, sir.
How was your day? It's good to meet you when you are sharing the grace. At least
you can drop your offering. You
to
can
say
just drop
hello.
your offering.
Sorry,
you don't need to do
late.
much.
I told you. Remember, I told you we used to have a program for Thursdays as well.
Oh. Okay, you're talking to Elder Debbie.
No, he's talking to you.
Yeah, a program on Thursday. I'm hearing
my network is really bad though.
I can hear you.
My lady, it's fine.
We don't
understand. Just drop
we
your
don't have
offering.
a Bible studies on Thursdays.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit. Offering, you need one.
Just drop your offering. We are already sharing.
Or maybe he came to take his offering, or who knows?
No, he can't take offering. He's not the treasurer.
He's elder now. Elder
cannot take offering.
From elder to elder, please. I'm begging. Thank you so much. Anyways, I hope you're good.
I'm on the bus. That's why the network is doing me this.
How was your Bible study?
Thank you so much for having me. I wish you all a wonderful.
Heard. All right, so Elder Adegbinga, thank you so much for stopping by. Even though we're rounding up, have a wonderful weekend. God bless you. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Elder Debbie. Thank you, Elder Debbie, for stopping by. Mr. Kenneth, thank you so much. Have a lovely night's rest. And see you on Monday. Good night.